Aaron Dobby, thank you for your 100 bits. We appreciate the donation as always.
And we're off. A
So
nice
as we were
big fat 20 in both the Sanctuary and Link's house.
So as we were talking about route divergence at the beginning here, your two most common routes you'll see, some people will start at Link's house, like if you look at Blackjac's screen, is going to carry the sign up, going to try to kill one of these guards with it to try to get an item pull from the tree. He'll probably route in a check on Uncle and the other chest down by Uncle as well. Other runners will typically go for an opening gambit at Sanctuary and then route up into Lost Woods to check the Thief's Stump and where the mushroom would normally be. So we're seeing both kinds of openers here.
Just an arrow upgrade down there at Uncle.
It's dangerous to go alone. Take these arrows. Hopefully you find a bow for him, son. Now we're going to have LewdDolphin. He's going to be in here, and he's going to be checking Lumberjack Cave. It looks like a bottle there. So this is a good opening check to make, because if you see like Cana Samaria or Hookshot or something like that, this will tell you if Aghanim 1 is going to be required or not, because you have to beat Aga 1 in order to be able to check that, or to be able to get to the item in that spot. So always good to get that intel right off the bat.
Oh, absolutely. And also, just real quickly here, Matt7898 just subscribed. Thank you so much for that support, as well as Rope Goat. Both of you, thank you so much for your continued support. You all make all of this possible, so thank you.
Yes, thank you very much for your continued support. We are very appreciative of that here. It allows us to keep bringing these races to you. Getting back to Bacon real quick. Looks like he found a big 20 at the mushroom spot and finding just a piece of heart in the Thieves' Stump. Not terribly exciting finds, but you kind of like having those pieces of heart early because survivability is very important in the early stages of the game.
And also, real quick, to point out something that maybe some new viewers may not understand what they're seeing here. DukeFireBird is using a very common tactic to repeatedly take out those bushes to get some bombs really quickly so they can take care of the bomb spots in Kakariko.
Absolutely, bombs a very integral item to have early. Most people, if they cannot find bomb drops, are going to have to resort to buying bombs from the shop in Kakariko. Of course, that is 50 rupees, and also, depending on the seed, rupees can be very hard to come by.
Blue Boomerang hanging out at the bar. Bacon's already grabbed that.
Oh, and was that the book in library?
Yeah, vanilla book location, I do believe. How's that for you?
Randomized.
Well, at least someone remembered to take the book back to the library after checking it out. No late fees today.
All right, we're going to get a check at the Thieves' Hut bottom. We're going to have piece of heart, looks like some bombs, another piece of heart. Looked like possibly quiver upgrade in the fourth chest. I couldn't quite catch that. In the lower left.
Believe that is the case.
Ooh, a shovel! Fetch quest item right out of the gate. Pretty handy to find it here, though, because you can check in a pretty good check pretty quickly on the dig spot. So not having to go too far for that.
DukeFireBird, again, looking to try to farm up some bombs. Normally, this would be an all-right tactic, but as we just saw, there were some bombs down there in Blind's house, as well as down in the well, so not really needed.
Just one of those gambles that you have to make. Sometimes it doesn't pay off, but, you know, I mean, it's still a pretty good play, because bombs are going to be very handy, and we have yet to find a sword, but we did find gloves!
Yep, gloves right down there in the well.
Power glove, it's so bad. Firebird going to give us a check on the chicken house, just finding a nickel there.
And as far as you know, gambles that you make, I know there for a while I got really big in the habit of doing a hula hand first thing straight out of Sanctuary, just to make sure I had enough money. Blackjac getting trolled by that chicken there just a little bit. But I don't do it nearly as much anymore because I've learned other routing methods to use, but it's not to say that the Houlihan trick is not useful. It absolutely is.
From what I've understood, your Houlihan strat tends to be more helpful in a game like Triforce Hunt, where you have fewer rupees in the pool, but you still need the same amount of money for Zora and those sorts of things. So don't see Houlihan nearly so much in Standard and Open, but you will see him in other game modes.
So these players definitely need to keep it in the back of their minds that that book is there in case we have some sort of progression hidden behind Desert Palace or one of the monuments.
We still have yet to see a map check out of any of our runners, although it looks like Tower of Hera may be a pendant.
Oh, really?
I'm not 100% sure. We'll have to, when we get a map check, we'll try to get some confirmation on that for you. Now, what's interesting is even with the minor route divergence, all of our runners have elected to more or less check the same spots. Now, we have LewdDolphin's going to give us the first peek at the dig spot. Your choices are kind of limited in the early game as to what you can check. Most of what they call Sphere Zero. Things will be like the Dam, Mini Moldorm Cave, Kakariko Village, a lot of those places. Once you get past that, you might see some branching out depending on what you find.
And just a little bit of love there in the Grove today.
A little bit of love can go a long way sometimes, you never know. Looks like LewdDolphin's also going to give us our first peek down at the dam, and maybe... Oh, no, never mind. Remind me, did he check Uncle and Escape at first, or did he not check those yet?
I really want to say, I guess no, he's heading that way. I guess he was the one runner that did not check that location. And Epicalosity, they tend to last anywhere between an hour and a half to 2.5 hours on really bad ones, but usually they're over in 2 hours.
I think some of the fastest seeds we've ever seen, I think Christos Owen actually completed a seed in 1:05 one time, but that's a very, very unique time to get. You will very rarely see a seed that quickly.
Oh, and the mitts are in the back of Escape.
How about that? Well, that's going to give us, as soon as we find the Moon Pearl, we can get in the Dark World.
Indeed. Doesn't quite write off the possibility of having an AGA 1 seed. That Moon Pearl could be resting quite soundly on top of the pyramid.
DukeFireBird is going to head down and show us what's in the dam here quickly. Now, a lot of players will go down and check dam, and then you can elect to either go into the desert to check Agana Cave and what's on Desert Ledge, or you can head east from there, and there's a little cave, that Mini Moldorm Cave, where you will actually have 5 chests to check out. Finding the Fisher Price shield in the first case in the dam. So we have a little bit of protection, but still no bona fide weapon.
Yeah, for anywhere that they have to clear enemies, as you'll see with LewdDolphin here in just a moment, anywhere that there's enemies that have to be killed, such as an Escape or in the Mini Moldorm Cave, which is no doubt going to be coming up here shortly with DukeFireBird and Bacon and Blackjac. You're going to have to rely on those bombs to kill.
Silvers! Oh. Sorry not to cut you off, but I believe Lude just picked up the silver arrows.
Hopefully chat can verify that. I did miss it. I was looking at the other runners' screens at that point in time.
So maybe we'll get some follow-up confirmation, but unless my old man eyes deceive me, those were indeed the silver arrows. A very, very good find to have, because one of the few things you don't want to do in this game is a silverless Ganon.
Indeed, and chat is confirming it. And a fairly clean Mini Moldorm Cave clear with bombs from Duke.
And it looks like for his troubles, well, he did find a lamp. Very, very nice find. Now, some of these runners probably won't have any trouble navigating dark rooms, but The lamp will equalize that, so nobody's going to have to find their way through in the dark. So very nice find. Also a fire source.
Absolutely, which means that once they do have actually, they would technically at this point in time have access to Death Mountain, but not to Tower of Hera just yet. But when they do get to Tower of Hera, they are at no risk of being lamp locked or fire locked, rather.
Also, bear in mind, by logic, you cannot get to Aga 1 until you find the lamp, so it does not rule out an Aghanim seed.
Yes, but for it to be an Aga seed, we are going to see fairly soon a Master Sword or a Fighter Sword and a Cape.
Still have a few places to check in Sphere Zero, though. Looks like Duke just got the Ice Cave. I missed what was in there, but you do have Zora's Domain to check as well.
We got Zora's Domain, and we also have our good friend Sriracha, as well as possibly our first dip into Eastern Palace, especially when you have a very low loaded front end of a seed. Not a whole lot of combat ability, not a whole lot of progression items. Eastern Palace is usually your best first bet.
And with having the lamp, they can get most of the way back there. The only thing keeping them from completing Eastern Palace in their entirety would be the bow at this point. Now, it's not that you can't kill Armos. You can, but you cannot kill the red Igor that is right out in front of Armos. And it looks like LewdDolphin's going to be making his way over to Eastern as we speak.
Trying to grab some spare change. Quite possibly trying to get the last little bit he needs for that 500 offering to Zora.
This is indeed very true. We very rarely see, although he's buying bombs, actually.
And just a heart container on Lake Hylia Island.
Blackjac heading down to escape. He will find his silvers momentarily. As far as on this Eastern play, we'll be able to find out where the green pendant is if they talk to Sahasrahla. You'll have the 3 items behind Sahasrahla's closet. And then in Eastern Palace, you will have 6 chests, but only 3 of them will contain items. It looks like our green pendant is Thieves' Town.
There's our first sword.
No swordless sea today. 12 minutes in, and we finally have a weapon.
And old man's got a bottle for you, so now we can check and see what Sick Kid has hiding under his bed.
Hopefully it's something good. I always feel bad if I rob his piggy bank or anything and just get a big 20 for my troubles.
I always get bombs, and I have to wonder, who gives a child explosives?
That's why he's in the bed in the first place.
And map check, we got Eastern Palace and Desert as crystals, and it is indeed Tower of Hera as a red pendant.
Now, taking stock of what we have real quick, we know where the sword is. We have Titan's Mitts. What do you think our next big progression item is going to be? I mean, are we looking to find a Moon Pearl here pretty soon, or what are you thinking?
I am thinking we are either going to need... Moon Pearl is a definite soon, whether it be after Aga 1, and if we find a cape, they go to do Aga 1, they find the Moon Pearl on the pyramid, or they find the Moon Pearl elsewhere here soon. That's going to be a big one. In a seed like this, was starting off in this way, I'm leaning towards us finding a hammer before too long.
I actually was hoping we would find the hook shot here pretty soon. That way we can get an early check on the right side of Death Mountain. But you never know. That's the thing. You've got a lot of different routes the seed could go right now.
That would actually also be really, really kind for a seed. They already have access to mitts, so hookshot would give them full access to light and dark, given that they had, a pearl, although Super Bunny Cave is still doable without the pearl.
Looks like Lude finding a mushroom, so that's 2 fetch quests in play already. Now, the shovel only turned up a piece of heart, but that mushroom, that could lead to something nice. Also, if he gets 500 rupees, that'll be a check that he can route in on his way to Zora's domain. So we will probably see a mushroom check here very shortly.
And it looks like just a lonely piece of heart inside Spectacle Rock.
Now, Lude opting to do this room in the dark, he has not gone to check Mini Moldorm Cave yet. He does not have a lamp.
He does not, however, I have nothing but faith in LewdDolphin's ability to get this taken care of in a timely manner. And there he goes. Dark rooms seem intimidating at first, but learning them will definitely give you an edge in certain races. And there's our hook shot, hiding just past the dark rooms.
Had that feeling when you actually call it right for once.
You know they're going to give us those calm curse emotes now, right?
I fully expected him to say burn the witch. I'm glad I haven't seen that yet. I mean, chat, don't take any ideas. No, nothing to see. So that being said, we will indeed have access to all of Eastern Death Mountain. We could dip into the Dark World on Eastern Death Mountain. The only chest they'll be able to check at that point, though, is Super Bunny Cave. They will not be able to check Hookshot Cave because they will not be able to lift the stone without the Moon Pearl.
And given where we've seen them check at this point, I definitely feel the next leg of progression is going to be up there on Death Mountain East.
They find the hammer, they will be able to go in and check Hera. Hera only has 2 items, but it's a pretty quick dungeon to get out of the way, too. So not a whole lot of investment needed for it.
There are definitely worse dungeons to have as pendants. We'll put it that way.
Blackjac gonna get his item from the old man, his bottle. Is that a fairy in a bottle?
Yes, it was a fairy in a bottle, so now they do also have a lifeline.
Safety wife.
Indeed. And Bacon is learning the hard way what happens when you try to death warp when you have your safety active.
It happens to the best of us. If I had $1 for every time I've done it, I would certainly be doing something besides commentating this race. Maybe I'd be doing it from Bermuda. But it happens to the best of us. Now, Lude going to give us a peek into Paradox Caves. Going to check the 2 chests on the bottom first. Remember, there's 5 more up top.
Duke right hot on his heels as well, so if there is anything important here, both of them are going to grab it fairly quickly.
Lude also grabbing rupees, so they will have enough to pay off the kingfish when they get around to doing that.
Lude getting trolled ever so slightly by that switch.
So far, just money, and just more money. Just money. Just a lot of money.
Quite unfortunate, but Spiral can still hold something.
That is a very good point. You definitely would want to check Spiral Cave. However, if Spiral Cave is a strikeout, Now, bear in mind, they could go check Super Bunny Cave, but they have no mirror, so that'll end up being a dead end if they don't find anything in Dark Death Mountain, or not in
the
Super
best,
Bunny Cave.
yeah, absolutely. The best route here would be to go ahead and do Spiral, drop down afterwards, and then grab, warp to Dark World and do Super Bunny. That would be honestly the best route for them to take.
Lude beginning what they call the walk of shame, having to do Spiral Cave without the boots, takes a little. Okay, it takes a lot longer.
A considerable amount. I do believe Super Bunny is not in logic. Okay, yeah, and yes, Chad is telling me no here. Super Bunny is not in logic.
Okay, so we strike out on Spiral Cave. Let's take stock real quick. Where have we not checked yet? What is still available to us?
Got Agina and Zora as your two major in logic points that they could do right now. And I think Lude right now is going to be heading to do Mini Moldurm and all the southern part. And also, chat reminding me there, Mushroom as well could hold progression force.
So now, since Lude hasn't done his South Shore check, he's probably going to go ahead and route that in while he's down here. I would expect our other runners coming down probably going to check Zora's Domain and Mushroom, just because statistically speaking, a little bit higher. You've got 2 to 3 locations you can check instead of just the one in Agina Cave.
Blackjac also making the same mistake that Bacon did, sadly.
Blackjack's saying, no, I want to die anyway. Let me have it. Give it to me, guard.
We'll be getting our first mushroom check, and then odds are Duke is going to move on to do Zora as well.
Hey!
But there's the Moon Pearl.
There's our pearl.
All right, I was about to say there's a big question here. Does he go ahead and head to Zora or save quit and book it straight to Kakariko? And he's obviously going to head straight to Kakariko so we can get our first taste of Dark World, Thieves Town, Skullwoods, all those fun places.
Remember, Thieves Town's a green pendant too, so quite a few places to check there. And don't forget, when you get the mirror at some point, assuming it's not like on Catfish or anything, you can route Catfish and Zora's Domain and all of that back in once you have mirror and flippers. So maybe trying to just do a little bit more condensed routing, trying to do as few revisits as possible. So I definitely like this play here.
I would strongly agree as well. Let's see if we get a map check right away. We are. Looks like the Reds are going to be in Swamp and Pod. Our other pendant's going to be down in Ice Palace.
So, unfortunately for LewdDolphin, this is a cane required seed. So sorry about your luck. Better luck next time. An interesting point that chat's making, I don't think anybody has gone to check Sick Kid. Hopefully they haven't forgotten that one.
Yeah, no one has. Granted, they could wait until they get the flute and bundle that together, although I'm not sure why Duke wouldn't have quickly grabbed it before heading into the Dark World.
Only time will tell. We'll see. If the Sick Kid had nothing, we're going to say it's a great play. If he had something, well, there's a Master Sword in other news.
Very nice. Also, for those new to the randomizer experience, what Lude is doing right now, if you're curious, how in the blazes he is swimming without flippers, he's done a trick called fake flippers so that he can check the hobo for their item. And by all means looks like they are about to warp up and check the fairy cave as well as possibly Zora. This is sequence breaking, however. Actually, not even going to check the fairy cave.
Now, something to note, though, as far as LewdDolphin, he would, in order to be able to check Waterfall Cave right now, he would need the Moon Pearl, just because of the specific nature of that glitch. Unless I am horribly mistaken, he has to have the Moon Pearl if he doesn't have the flippers.
He's not picked that up yet. He's right in the right area. And what's going to pain me the most is I feel he is going to save and quit as soon as he checks Zora instead of heading down to the witch. And now, to be fair, I'm not sure that it would necessarily be any quicker to save and quit, go to Sanctuary, and head on over, but... And life lessons learned once again, good old King Zora. 480 rupee loss.
The Kingfish strikes again. I haven't been paying attention to DukeFireBird too much. What has he been finding in Thieves Town so far? I know he found some bombs, and I think he found a quiver. Did he find anything else of note?
No, I believe that was it for him so far. Oh, there being actually hammer. So it does appear that the hammer was found in there while we weren't looking. Oh, the hammer was in the house. Hammer was in.
Nice. Okay. Well, and the nice thing about having that hammer, now you can fully check Thieves Town. You do not have to skip that big chest in the basement. You literally can full clear this place.
Dolphin is about to go ahead and grab their Moon Pearl and hopefully be off to Kakariko as well.
DukeFireBird heading up to the second floor, going to have to remember to bomb that window, and as I've learned, bombing that window is required in order to finish Thieves Town. I may or may not have made that mistake before.
Certainly not anytime recently. Let's see here. Looks like Blackjac is about to pick up their hook shot of their very own. That'll be the last runner to get it.
Bacon's going to give us a delve into the dark room in the middle of Escape. So a very interesting check to make here.
Someone else did already check. I do believe it is just an arrow upgrade.
Oh, that is going to be a very big disappointment then.
Blackjac did opt to clear this room in a vanilla fashion, which is fine. It is a bit of a time loss there. You can still just as easily run into those anti-fairies to give yourself a moment of invulnerability to pick up the pot and step on the switch, activating the chest. But still got taken care of and is now on their way up Death Mountain.
Duke grabbing the maiden from her cell. We'll get finish off blind, hopefully, and then that will also give us a green pendant, which we'll have to route back in at some point. After Thieves Town, let's see. He has hammer. He has lamp. No bow. Pod could be in play, but without the bow, Pod could be a bit of a long shot.
And Sick Kid has for us just a piece of heart.
Oh, Duke, does he have a safety fairy?
Nope, I do believe Duke lost it earlier.
Oh no, that's a bit demoralizing, and he's gonna opt to nope out of this dungeon, and I can't say as I blame him. It's just a pendant at the end of the day, so always come back to it later.
Certainly. Yeah, 6 heart blind is no fun. I am going to have to to go back and watch the VOD of the one-hit kill run just to see how people fared with a one-hit kill blind.
I can only imagine the frustration for that one because, like I said, blind is a it's a scripted fight, so you can get through it pretty quickly, but it can be very frustrating too.
Dig game being mercifully short for the +5 arrow increase that it gives.
Looks like Duke's going to double back and grab Jeremiah here. In other news, Bacon is going to be getting his Moon Pearl, so he'll take a dip in the Dark World. Now, without a mirror, Duke's going to have to save and quit to get the frog back to his home. But in the meantime, can still check Stump Kid. Will not be able to check Hype Cave, though, so we'll have to save and quit before he can come back and pick up everything else, because you cannot take that frog in with you anywhere. At least not to my knowledge. I know you can't take him in dungeons. You might be able to take him in other ones. And I guess we will find out here shortly.
You're making me question my own memory, because I know you can't take the chest anywhere, but I swore you could take the frog inside of caves.
For Duke's sake, I hope that I am incorrect, and that you can take the frog into non-dungeon locations. And you can, it looks like. Thank God. I was wrong. Never been so happy to be wrong. Hey, look at that cane. At the big red cane, the big red boomerang, and a big red heart. The big red hype cave.
Big red hype cave. Very nice. It's like LewdDolphin grabbing that hammer. About to head into... nope, not going to head into Thieves Town just yet, it seems.
Bacon, with finding that Moon Pearl, is going to be making tracks for the Dark World. Hopefully going to pick up his hammer pretty soon. We're going to have DukeFireBird's going to go drop off the smith and see what he's got there. No powder, so cannot do a bat check. Unless the powder is on the smiths.
However, they could use the trick with the Cane of Samaria and the mushroom to fake it.
That is a very good point.
Because they have no magic right now. So if Duke is familiar with that trick, could do it. Oh, that's right. He already did use the mushroom. I'm just looking at the tracker.
Oh my God.
I'm used to my tracker having an X out for the mushroom to tell me that I've used it. Oh, this is any indicator of things of the night to come. I'm gonna have a delightful night in commentary, I feel. And let's see what's in Agnes Cave here. Just a piece of heart.
Just a little bit of love. Bacon, meanwhile, playing keep away from those Gibdos. Those things do 2 hearts of damage with green mail, so definitely don't want to get a hug from one of those guys.
And to Nacre Oranges, yes, they're all playing the exact same seed. This is the same map for everyone, the same game for everyone involved in the race. And also, it is just more than these 4 runners. There is, in grand total, I believe it was 50. How many was it? 54 entrants in the race. We are just restreaming 4 of them for you. 55? Okay.
So yeah, it's just a small fraction of what the entire field looks like. So it looks like Lewd going to be picking up his cane out of Hype Cave and his red boomerang. Not the true boomerang, but you know, it's curved and White's throne, so it's okay, I guess. Blue is true, though. Looks like Lewd's going to route in a pyramid check for us.
Finally see what's hiding on that pyramid. It appears that the rest of the racers are just covering ground that each other's already covered. And was that the bacon medallion that I just saw there?
I do believe that was the bacon coin. So that could potentially be one of our Go Mode items. Looks like Lewd's going to run in a catfish check while he's on this side of the world. Meanwhile, going to go back to Bacon Stream. Looks like he is going to be getting his Master Sword out of the Bombable Hut and should hopefully be picking up his hammer soon from the Sea House.
And hopefully Blackjac will be able to make up some time here. Well, hopefully they will soon route in the Witch's Hut and grab their... Well, it looks like they already did route in and get their Moon Pearl, so heading off to Dark World for them then.
Now, I think chat went ahead and took care of it, but Nick or Orange is asking, what's a Go Mode item? It is an item that is required by logic, or even not necessarily by logic, to finish the objective and beat the game. Give you an example. For Turtle Rock, it's a crystal dungeon. We have to have the 7 crystals to beat Ganon. In the Turtle Rock, in order to fully clear it, you're going to need the Fire Rod and the Ice Rod for Trinex. And you're going to need the Cane of Samaria to get around inside of Turtle Rock. So all 3 of those items are what they call Go Mode items. And then Go Mode is just when you have all the items necessary to beat the game, you can go straight through. You do not have to check any more chests at that point. And Sarah Zelda, doesn't look like Aga is required. Looks like they can skip him this time around. We are so sorry. Please see the counter for a refund. And Lana Bean, yes, also whatever medallion is used to unlock Turtle Rock is also considered a Go Mode item. So if we need Quake to get into Turtle Rock, then Quake is indeed a Go Mode item.
And certainly the routing in dungeons is going to change once you are in Go Mode. There's definitely going to be Swamp Palace is actually one of the best examples of this. There is an entire left section of Swamp Palace that has 2 chests that when you're full clearing, you want to go through that and check those chests just to make sure you are getting every item you can. Now, in Go Mode, you can completely ignore that left side. Oh, was that Cane O'Brien right there in Tower?
That was that other Cane we don't talk about very much.
I like
the little brother Cane.
It has its uses. But yeah, you'd be able to completely skip the left side of Swamp Palace and just book it straight to the boss. We don't know if boots are necessarily required. However, the book is in the library in its vanilla location, so those are boots locked, and we're not quite sure yet if the book is going to be required. Now, there's no flute found yet. Desert Palace is a crystal, and the only ways to get into Desert Palace are going to be either with the flute or with the book, so it's yet to be seen.
Lewd finding his big key down there in the basement. Gonna have to take the long way out, unfortunately. No mirror. Well, or you could death warp, because I think he already took care of the safety ferry.
Yeah, I believe all of our runners no longer have their safety fairy.
Overrated.
I also
Dukes,
believe.
meanwhile- go ahead.
Go ahead. I was just going to say, I believe all the runners lost their safety fairy to accidental death warp attempts. Duke was the only one that actually had to use it to stay alive on Death Mountain.
Sarah Zelda in chat asking, what can be on pedestal? Ooh, this is a really good topic to discuss right now. Let's see. Okay, let's take stock. What have we got for pendants? Tower of Hera was a pendant. Thieves Town was a pendant. And Ice Palace was a pendant?
Yeah, our pendants are Ice Palace, Thieves Town, and Hera.
So let's see. Bow could be there.
You could have bow,
could be there.
bow, flippers, the medallions, the rods, the mirror, because the mirror is required for Swamp Palace.
Yeah, so a lot. The flute could be on the pedestal. So yeah, we still have a lot of hype. So calculate your pedestal hype indexes, folks, because the Ped Dream is still very much alive.
We got Duke running around in Pod, trying to see what's in there. Pod does have a lot of items, so this is a pretty good play to make, just to see what they can find.
Yes, the Pod item density is at 5 random items can be found inside Palace of Darkness. So yes, definitely a very high percentage place to go to. And getting back into, now chat covered this, the flippers cannot be on the pedestal because by logic, you need the flippers to get into Ice Palace. Now, you can fake flipper and get to Ice Palace, but you cannot, the flippers cannot logically be on the pedestal because by logic, they're required to get to Ice Palace, even though there is a glitch to get around that.
I blame myself. I did say flippers earlier, so.
Okay. That looks like the Bacon Coin for Turtle Rock. So Bacon Coin was indeed a Go Mode item.
And Lewd's going to go ahead and open up Turtle Rock for later, or quite possibly just go ahead and dip his head in now and check the one chest he would be able to check, although that may not be a good use of his time.
Just needs to be very careful with one heart, because there's a lot of big nasties up here on Death Mountain. Also, if he makes one misstep in Hookshot Cave, that's all she wrote.
Blackjac picking up his cane and red boomerang.
Looks like
Hopefully
we will
going to
get
be closing a gap soon.
Looks like we're going to get a Super Bunny check. Nothing of value, just a piece of heart and an arrow upgrade. But I think somebody may have already checked it, but I honestly lost track. Now, Neonic Fear, the book is actually in the library. The book was actually vanilla this time around. So
real quick, I could not tell because my eyesight is horrible. It seems, was that Fire Rod or Ice Rod that just got picked up in Hookshot?
Oh, I'll have to wait for the restream to find out because I have terrible old man eyes.
It is.
That's Fire Rod.
But I'm so sorry I interrupted you there. What were you about to say?
No, nothing that important. At least I don't think so. My bad memory, I just can't remember. My eyes are going bad, my memory's going bad. I'm getting old. This sucks.
But yeah, now that he found that Fire Rod, though, Lewd can go ahead and dip into Turtle Rock here and try to find some items. Turtle Rock has a lot of items and a lot of chances at some progression.
Gonna have to be real careful though, because green mail, 7 hearts. Whew, that's stressful right there. Because this could be nasty.
At that roller room that's going to be coming up in a second is going to be fun to watch.
Well, he does have Brian. Oh, wait, no. He's gonna have to take the long way around. He can't hookshot off one of these torches because if he hookshots, he'll die.
Yep. And let's see what's in the box. Just $20.
Lunch money from Gary's wife. Catfish, meanwhile, is going to have a little bit of money. Ooh, good cane timing. And there's the Ether Medallion. Could possibly be used to get into Misery Minor. I will say I'm a little surprised that LewdDolphin did not Death Warp at this point just to refill his hearts and get the magic refill at the front door. But this is probably going to save him a little bit of time going this way.
I mean, if you're going to take the dive into Turtle Rock, you want to make it worth it.
Making the very good boomerang checks, and there's the mirror. Lewd making the awesome play, dipping into Turtle Rock early, because, folks, that's an item he's definitely going to have. No double dipping. Actually, no, wait, he'll still have to double dip. But
he would, well, yeah, unless he finds Ice Rod in here, he'd still have to double dip Turtle Rock, technically. And also, I would not care to fight Trinex and Green Mail, 7 Hearts, and no half magic.
Yeah, no, thank you. I'm good. I'm good. No half magic either, by the way. Now, logically speaking, though, because he does have the Cane of Brian, Laser Bridge is open logically.
And is Bacon about to make the same play, though, is the question. Not going to open it up? Well, no, they haven't been to the pyramid yet.
Nope.
Oh.
And the folk is asking if Link to the Past Randomizer will be an AGDQ this year. Yes, it will be. It will be in the prime time spot this year. So a lot of us are very excited about that.
And for those of you not familiar with aforementioned primetime spot, that is going to be January 13th at 7:40 p.m. Eastern Time. So that's next Saturday at 7:40 Eastern. There will be a race at AGDQ.
And to give you an idea how cool it is, that is the time slot that was formerly occupied by the Super Metroid race. So yeah, where you would normally see, save the animals versus kill the animals. Rando's in that spot this year.
Do believe it is going to be an open at GDQ. And yes, Hefe, thank you. Sports Hefe, thank you. That is Andy versus Christos is what's going to be at the event. So tune in to that. That's going to be amazing. To anyone in chat, do we know any of the incentives yet for that race, if there are any? To let the people know ahead of time, get them informed.
I'm actually not sure what they're going to be.
Jono the Tree, the difference between open and not open. Not open is normally referred to as standard. In standard, you would start the game as you would normally. It's dark, it's raining, you go find your uncle. Your uncle gives you a sword, you go rescue Zelda. So you're guaranteed a sword in standard. In open, it starts as though you'd already rescued Zelda, but the items could be anywhere. As we saw earlier in this race, these racers actually didn't even get a sword until probably about 15, 20 minutes in.
LewdDolphin very shortly coming up to Laser Bridge. Now remember, logically speaking, he can clear Laser Bridge. He has the Cane of Brian. But I'm going to be interested to see if he takes the checkpoint down here at the bottom. And it looks like he will. And that's a very smart move to make.
Oh!
Be careful. Oh, be careful.
He cannot afford any other blunders like that. Waving that sword at the little guy, the little beetle.
Looks like the map.
Oh, the bow!
Oh,
there we go. Eastern Palace access and pod access now officially. Those are clearable by logic.
This Turtle Rock dip by Lewd is going to be a game changer. That puts him at a massive lead.
Yeah, Turtle Rock was the play to make. Absolutely full of value. Got the mirror, got ether, which very well could be the key to Meyer. We don't know yet for sure. And the bow. So, I mean, granted, we'll have to double dip later on to finish off Trinex. Unless for some crazy reason this last chest has the ice rod, which I haven't been item counting, but I'm pretty sure maybe the compass? No, oh,
the flippers! Look at this! Look at this! Look at all of these items he's finding!
Turtle
Rock, the big play! Turtle Rock, the massive play. This puts Lewd at a huge lead. This is amazing.
Oh, absolutely. Duke hopefully will follow suit when they find the fire rod in Hookshot Cave.
I mean, look at it this way. I mean, look at the risk involved in this. You have green mail. You have, at best case, 7 or 8 heart containers. Not many people are going to make that play. It is
not easy.
How risky it is.
It is not easy. So at this point in time, what we are missing for an official go mode is Ice Rod and Flute, and whatever medallion is needed from Meyer.
So unfortunately for you pedestal seed trackers, your stock just took a big dip. You're not dead in the water yet, but yeah, your stock just went way down, unfortunately. So sorry. And I agree. I think we can name Turtle Rock Hype Rock for this seed because yeah, that's just amazing. That is a gold mine right there, just a treasure trove of items.
So Lewd is ramping up for the double whammy, heading into pod first, going to clear out pod, and then absolutely going to switch over and take care of Eastern after that.
Now, we've seen into Palace of Darkness a little bit at this point. I believe it was Duke or possibly Blackjac. But I don't think they're going to find anything too massive in Palace of Darkness, unless I am just forgetting something major.
No, our trip through Palace of Darkness did not net us anything, if I recall correctly.
Blackjac down to 1 heart. No, don't save and quit. You just be careful, man. Oh, no. Well, wait. Actually, hang on. This may not be a bad play because he's item counting. And yes, Blackjac just opting to dip out of this.
Once again, Pendant Dungeon, not a big deal, I do believe. Let's see, okay, Master Sword, Hammer. Granted, those were in Village of Outcasts. I do believe that he is fine for right now, dipping out of that, unless Sahasrara is holding something fancy.
And yes, to reinforce a point they're making in chat, Bacon really, really needs to check Pyramid at this point. He really needs to be finding his way over there.
And because we're in the know, Lewd's in the know, soon, hopefully Duke will be in the know, but Turtle Rock being the play to make means that Quake medallion is super important. Now, personally, one of my favorite spots to see done may still yet be open to holding progression, considering they can clear both Pod and Swamp Palace at this point in time after getting out of Turtle Rock. But I always love to see the Fat Fairy hold something, mostly because I always love seeing people try to get the bomb up there as quickly as possible. There's a lot of neat little tricks to save time, and they're always fun to watch.
May I inject something incredibly evil here? Is that okay?
Oh, sure. Oh, by all means.
What if Pedestal has boots and Ganon Tower has the big key on the torch?
Oh, that would be wonderful. That would be wonderful.
I think it'd be wonderful depending on your perspective.
Especially since the book is locked behind boots, it would have to be a blind pull.
Oh, no, Duke, I just realized Duke got the mirror and dipped out of Turtle Rock. He's going to have to triple dip now. Unless he finds the ice rod somewhere.
That's no bueno.
Oh.
Because now he's gonna miss Ether and the bow. And the bow it's vital. There's no getting around it.
Oh my.
That's just solidifying Lewd's lead here. Oh, Lewd about to pull off a delightful trick. This is what is referred to as the... Oh, well, that would have been what is referred to as the hammer yump.
It was almost a hammer yump. Or it's more like a hammer yeah!
That too.
J-Man, don't you dare clip that. Don't you dare clip that.
And there it is, the hammer yump. Saving a little bit of time in terms of trying to route for keys. That trick is way more useful in a key sanity race, where you may be a key short to officially clearing Pod. Here, it's just a really nice trick to see happen.
God, they are gonna clip that. I'm sorry, getting back to commentary. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I was mistaken. Ether was in the rolling spike room. Mirror was in the chain chomp room. I got those reversed. I thought Mirror was in roller and Ether was in chain chomp. So yeah, Duke does have Ether, but he is still missing the bow and the flippers.
And unfortunately, that is going to come back to haunt him because now he's staring down the barrel of a triple dip, unless Ice Rod is found somewhere that he can access now. But I mean, really, without the flippers, he didn't gain much access to anything else except perhaps Misery Mire.
Blackjac possibly forgetting that he has the cane.
Oh, and another thing to bear in mind, sometimes your muscle memory is just so great in this. You have strats that you're just comfortable doing, and even if you can optimize it with the cane, sometimes you just go back to what's comfortable, and we've all done that.
Oh, I do it every single time that I'm fighting Ganon with the Cane of Burna or the Cape. Usually the Cape, obviously, but I always forget to use it in the Ganon fight, even though I know that it really helps out with the Firebird stage phase. Fire bat.
Lewd's going to go down and take care of Helmastar King here pretty quickly. Duke now routing his way into escape, found his silvers, going to find his prisoned burrito here. And it looks like Bacon is going to be attempting to do a full clear of Thieves Town.
Yes, I did say Firebird. I need good verbiage for the word making sometimes.
Oh, unfortunately, Blackjac taking the Vortex. He's going to have to let that wear off before he can swipe those curtains to the side. It looks like Bacon possibly took a death in Thieves Town. I'm sorry, I was really not paying attention.
He did.
That is very unfortunate. Lewd going to be making quick work of Kelmosaur King here. 16 whacks from the hammer, 1 silver arrow to the face, and King Helmosaur dethroned.
I had a bit of a trouble there getting the sword. Oh no!
Oh no! Oh, fireball. Oh, no safety fairy either.
Nope. Everyone's just dying today.
But not a particularly healthy seed. I mean, look at it. 7, 8 hearts, green mail. I mean, this is a rough one. I mean, for these other, Lewd, we're cheering him on because he made the full dip into Turtle Rock. But I mean, really, you got to figure if you've got green mail and no more than 9 hearts, that's a play that not a lot of people are going to want to make because there's some nasty stuff in Turtle Rock.
Macro Pickle, it most certainly is. This is probably one of my favorite ways to play Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past at this point in time, because every game is new and unique and full of new, interesting challenges to overcome.
Yeah, there are no 2 seeds that will really play alike. You'll have some similarities, but nothing major. And it's a very nice, fresh take on a classic. And again, part of the reason that we're doing these events as a community, we're trying to drum up interest. If you've never run one of these before, I encourage anybody to get in here and try it. And you know what? Your first couple of seeds, yeah, you may be running 6-8 hour times. And that's okay. Everybody starts there. You practice, you get in some more tries on it. This community has always been so helpful to newer players. So please, absolutely get in. If this looks fun, you want to give it a try, by all means, get in here and give it a shot.
Just posted a link there in chat. There is a Discord that you all are welcome to join and learn more. And the races are open to everyone that wants to get in and give it a try. It's not just these 4 people you're looking at here today. It is, in fact, as we mentioned earlier, 55 people are doing this race simultaneously on speedrunslive.com. And we are restreaming 4 of them for you today. And these are major events that go on, and they are a lot of fun.
King Helmosaur, what were those?
I see what you did there.
King Helmosaur has a pair of nice Nikes for us. I would say those boots were made for walking, but they were made for anything but walking. And of course, now Lewd doing the other half of this double play with the mirror. He's able to get out from pod, come straight out of that entrance, come right in here, and where's that other skeleton? There they are. Come right out of here and take care of business in Eastern Palace and polish off 2 crystals with 1 shot.
And we finally get our first blind kill with Bacon. What a way to go. Blind and high cholesterol.
Now, this will be an interesting play because he's got that green pendant he can turn in. What if the green pendant has Ice Rod or Flute? It's entirely
That
possible
would-
either of those could be on there.
Oh, absolutely. Now, let's not forget, though, now that LewdDolphin has the boots, he can go back and grab that book, and that's going to give him access to Desert Palace. So now Desert Palace is fully clearable by Lewd. Not to mention, can check the both Ether and Bombos monuments as well. I keep calling them monuments. What are they actually called? I'm pretty sure it's not the word.
Monuments works, tablets,
Tablets.
whatever you want to say. Those big green thingies.
Big green thingies. That's an official term. You can find it on the wiki. Oh, Duke taking a death to Mothula there.
Been in that spot before. Mothula can be a very unforgiving boss at times, especially to a lot of your newer players. Even your experienced players can have a little bit of trouble. There's a rhythm you've got to get in. I believe the optimal boss or fight time for him is about 4 seconds, and if you don't make that 4-second optimal kill, it can get pretty tough after that.
Very much so. And considering they're definitely bringing in more and more hearts as they move along here, but our runners don't have a lot of hearts, and they are still in green mails, so everything is lethal, especially as they get further in towards some of the in-game dungeons, such as Mire, Ice Palace, and Turtle Rock, as we've already seen.
Question in chat from DocXavier22. You might be able to download those seeds, but there is actually a website that you can go to, and you can actually generate your own seeds of this game. You will need some sort of ROM and an emulator to play it, and preferably it would have to be the Japanese 1.0 ROM. But yes, you can actually go to the website and download all of your own seeds. You can even make your own custom seeds to play with friends. Now it looks like Lewd giving us our first taste of Swamp Palace. I'll be interested to see what's in here. Swamp Palace, statistically speaking, has the highest random item concentration of any dungeon outside of Escape and Ganon's Tower. Escape has 6 items, so does Swamp Palace, and Ganon's Tower, of course, has 20 items. So Swamp, always a very, very valuable place to go, although, good lord, it's going to have to be just a flat-out amazing place to top Turtle Rock this time around.
Absolutely. In fact, I would not, I would totally call it a good play for Lewd to just go ahead and book it to the boss here.
Now, there is an interesting bit of routing you can do with Swamp Palace. And I say this, and I'm certainly not an expert at it, so feel free to correct me as needed. The 2 chests on left side, you can elect to skip those if you do not come across the map or the compass. Because if you clear out every other chest and don't find the map and don't find the compass, they have to be in those last 2 chests on left side, so you can actually carve that entire side of the map out. But of course, if you run into one or the other as you trek through, you might as well go ahead and check both chests on that side at that point. Oh, and there goes our green pendant dream. Looks like just a big old bag of bombs.
And it does appear Lewd is just going to go straight for the boss.
Again, I like this play, but again, if he finds the map or the compass at any point between now and Argus, he will have to come back and take care of left side. Well, I mean, he could opt to skip it, of course, but boy, you really just have to wonder if skipping any of left side, if there is indeed an item over there, if that would even be a wise move at this point. Because after that find on Laser Bridge, I would have to think Lewd has to be feeling really good about himself right now. Unfortunately, DukeFireBird's still having trouble with Mothula. Again, that Mothula can be a mean boss at times. I mean, a very mean boss. And it looks like Lewd is actually going to opt to, instead of going straight down to Argus, going to go back, check the big chest, then go around, do left side, and then go down into Argus.
But forgetting he doesn't have the small key, gotta go check that hallway.
Yep, gotta be careful and don't drown the key in this place because you absolutely can do it.
Well, he can't at this point. He's already spent his one key to progress further, and so he has to use this specific key to unlock that door now.
Oh,
so
no,
for him, it's impossible.
That is a very good point you make. Ooh, and Blackjac gonna have to do some... There's his mirror. You better keep going, buddy.
And he's going
there
on.
He goes.
He's gonna have to play it very, very careful.
Yeah, it's gonna have to be very conservative at this point. Taking quick stock of his items again. Just be very careful. Take it slow.
You know, I've been focused quite a bit on the game here. You know, trying to catch what's going on, what they're picking up, and all that. I've just now realized something watching Duke try to route after heading out of Skull Woods here. Is there a sprite from Link's Awakening?
I don't know.
I just noticed that. But checking the ledge above Graveyard, just getting a small piece of heart.
Just a teensy-weensy bit of love.
And doesn't appear Lewd is going to get anything too major on the left side of Swamp. Minish Cap. Thank you so much, Willard, for that bit of information. Or Inkling from Splatoon. Okay. See, Willard lied to me. Oh, Blackjac.
Imagine that. No, Black.
Getting smacked by that dodgeball.
Oh, and he's thinking now. Oh, he's thinking. There you go.
Keep at it, Blackjac. Soldier on.
There you go, buddy. Keep going. That's the smart move.
You will be rewarded for your perseverance. Bacon, hopefully, going to be making the same call now. I am vaguely concerned as to what happened to Bacon's sprite.
He's with us in spirit somewhere in there. Now Lewd's going to be making the final charge down to Argus. Now, with Master Sword, but having the hook shot, I'll be interested to see what sort of strats we see. Looks like it's just going to be the standard hook shot, double swipe. Nothing too fancy, no spin strats or anything like that. 4 hearts and green mail, probably wanting to play this a little conservatively. Can't say as I blame him.
J. Jehovah, that would be cheating. Now, if you were asking, is it possible? Yes, it is possible. As I stated, that would be cheating, and they would be disqualified for that. Most runners do play with a very strict honor code. I personally have seen a runner forfeit a race simply because someone in their chat gave them a hint. So.
Lewd, very good silver arrow shot. 1 silver arrow will take out Argus in phase 2, but only getting $20 for his troubles. But he will get a crystal, and crystals are very important. DukeFireBird, meanwhile, giving us a taste of that water walking glitch. He does have the Moon Pearl. This glitch will get canceled out if he walks over any bit of land. So he has to be a little bit careful how he walks back here. But when he's walking on water, he will actually be walking at maximum swim speed. So it's actually a very quick way to travel when you're over deep water. Blackjac playing knock knock with that last mimic. Knock knock, who's there? You're dead. And only finding $20 for winning that game. LewdDolphin, however, going to be giving us the fat fairy check. The Paladine fairy check, the thick fairy check.
The delightfully corpulent fairy check.
I like that. That's better. Oh no, and Duke unfortunately giving up on Turtle Rock. That's very unfortunate. Again, it's easy for us to say that knowing what's on Laser Bridge, but when you're down there in the trenches, you got 10 hearts and green mail. I mean, I can understand.
Turtle Rock can be a very unforgiving dungeon with that setup. Per the logic of the vanilla game, you would have blue mail going in there. And you would, odds are, also have somewhere to the tune of 14, maybe even 15 hearts, depending on how you've been, collecting heart pieces. Also, you would have a tempered sword. It is not an easy dungeon to do in the state that all of our runners are in. So, I can't speak badly to Duke's attempt. I can't.
Now, meanwhile, Lude finding the Splody coin, so he is covered no matter what Misery Mire is as far as an entrance. He is going to go in here, check the dark chest, and going to be very disappointed when he finds it. But he'll have to make the play and see what it is. Also worth noting, when he was in Fat Fairy, Lude threw an empty bottle into the pond, and he will get that bottle filled with a potion. Can be a good way to get a safety and save on rupees. Oh no, did Blackjac? No, just no.
I didn't quite catch that. What did Blackjac do?
He bailed on Turtle Rock before getting to the Laser Bridge. No. Oh, it's heartbreaking. Bacon, meanwhile, going to be making his way into Turtle Rock. Duke is going to actually check Spike Cave. Now, we are still on the hunt for an ice rod and a flute, and nobody's found either of those two items yet.
And still very many places that they could be found. Although that number is getting smaller as we continue onwards here.
You pedestal people, your stock might be going up ever so slightly. Ped Seed is still alive, after all.
Indeed. I'm currently trying to rack my mind of locations they've not tested out yet. I don't believe we've gotten a mirror cave check south of the grotto. At least I don't think so.
Let's see what's on Bumper Ledge. Is that Tempered Sword, right?
I believe that was. I'm going to recheck it on the main stream in a second. Indeed, that was Tempered Sword.
So, but you have to have the cape to access that location, and nobody's found the cape yet. So, might just have to skip over that one. Hopefully, you find another sword upgrade somewhere else along the line.
So we could be looking at an Ice Palace dip for the items. We still haven't seen Desert Palace, although I have a distinct suspicion since Lude grabbed that book, that's where we're about to head next.
Is it bad if I wish Lude would make a quick trip north and just take a peek at that pedestal for us?
I think everyone is kind of hoping he does that eventually, but we'll have to see. If he decides to go ahead and knock out Skull Woods first before continuing, no doubt we'll get a ped check from him. This seed is being real stingy as of late with the items, and he would probably be pretty smart to go ahead and check that.
Looks like Duke making another visit back into Thieves Town, possibly giving another thought to that green pendant. Although, how far did he get in the first time? I'm having trouble remembering.
Which runner then?
Duke.
Duke, if you're referring to Thieves Palace here, or Thieves Town, Thieves Palace. That's the new name of this dungeon. Believe Duke died. Yep, to blind. I was gonna say either he was the runner that died to the cockroach in the hallway, or he died to blind.
Well, I think he's about to give blind the business now. Please, no commentator's curse. I've already cursed one runner this week. I would prefer not to make it two. I already hit my quota. And indeed, giving blind the business. Bacon taking a death in Turtle Rock. Very unfortunate, but looks like he is electing to push on. And as we all know, that is the smart play. Just need to make it to Laser Bridge, and buddy, it will pay off. Just keep going.
I will gladly take another curse. I'll take the curse if it means we start seeing some more progression here soon. I am getting ever so slightly more worried that we are about to encounter a ped seed. And what did I ask for when we started this whole game?
Ask and ye shall receive. Although, God, could you imagine a ped seed at this point? Oof. You're already getting your money's worth with the double and potentially triple dips into Turtle Rock.
The good news there is Thieves Town and Tower are both very quick to clear. Ice Palace, not so much.
Again, it goes back to the discussion we were having. If you go mode it and know how to do the Ice Palace bomb jump, you can carve off quite a bit of Ice Palace. But if you're trying to full clear, yeah, it does take a little while.
But with two items still in the mix, even if Ped does say...
Oh, sorry. Oh, Bacon taking a death on the first part of Laser Bridge. Keep going, man. Go back in there. You can do it.
The perseverance will pay off in the end, I promise you.
I'm so sorry. Please, you were saying. Proceed.
What I was going to say is, even if Lewd gives us a ped check, and it does say that it is Ice Rod or that it is Flute, when running through Ice Palace, I would still say full clear for that small chance that the other Go Mode item required is in there. I would hate to see someone try to speed through Ice Palace just to get to the ped pool as quickly as possible and miss an item and end up having the double dip. Now, even though Lewd does have a substantial lead right now, that's still nothing you want to see happen.
Absolutely. It's one of those things, if you elect to skip it at that point, oh God, be careful. If you elect to skip it at that point, it's a gamble. I mean, it may pay off, but it's definitely a gamble.
And actually, I didn't even realize it at this point. With us knowing where boots are in the book, I don't believe... No, Flute is still required for Mire. I'm sorry. I was about to say Flute may not be required, but no, it is still required for Mire.
Oh, God, Bacon, be careful. Careful, man. Play it slow.
Yeah, get to that safety.
There you go.
Here it comes, everybody. Get them ready. Get those hypes ready to roll. Let's see what happens.
No, it's... Oh, blue goo! Blue goo. No. Ped is dead.
All right, so that leads me to believe that our progression is either in Desert Palace, which I would check first, or Ice Palace. I would definitely go ahead and knock Desert Palace out. It's a crystal. It needs to get done. There are 2 items inside. Let's go ahead and knock it out. See if progression's there. If it's not there, dip Ice, see what's going on there, try to find that Flute, and then push Misery.
You know, I could see I could see arguments for either one of these. If you did go Ice Palace first, then you can, depending on what you find there, you can knock out Desert and Mire back to back. But I also see it from your side as well. Desert would be a very solid play to make.
Oh, yes. And Maxwell also bringing up a valid point. The tablets are still open fully. We've not seen Ether or Bombos checked at all. This ledge right here was checked earlier. I do believe it is just a piece of heart, if I'm not mistaken.
I think you are correct. And Bacon finding the bow. You got 2 more chests to check, boy. You're not done yet. I'll be very happy when he gets to that top chest.
Absolutely. Even though by logic it's required, by skill, well, no, but even by skill, you can't fake flipper in Swamp Palace. So.
Nope. You have a Cane of Brian. Oh, wait, you don't have a Cane of Brian. Never mind.
No. Never picked it up.
Oh. Stay after it. Come on. Just stay after it.
He had no reason to leave yet. He's got this one last chest. Oh!
Oh, that. I know that's aggravating, but he's got to stay on it.
Bacon, take my energy.
Chat, send your good vibes to Bacon. Come on, let's see it, guys. Give this kid some cheer. Come on, everybody loves Bacon. There we go. He's got it. He has found his swimmy shoes. Yes, give him your good vibes. Yes, yes.
Vash 1978 giving him the ultimate energy with a $9.99 sub. Thank you so much, Vash, for your support. You are awesome.
Yes, Vash 1978. Thank you so much for your support, dude. We salute you. Thank you very much. It's people like you that make it possible for us to stream these events to you guys. Thank you so much for the support. It means a whole lot to us.
Also, speaking of taking energy, Duke knocking out Mothula finally. Good job, Duke. We're proud of you here.
Finally giving the Moth the business.
Trying to decide his next move. Here soon, he's going to have to realize that he's got to check the rest of Turtle Rock. I think he's already come to that conclusion, actually.
Bacon gonna check the hobo, find a little bit of catch cash. And yes, this is one of the more brutal seeds I've ever commented on, one of the more brutal seeds I've ever seen. So yes, this is not a friendly seed.
This started seemingly innocent and quickly became violent and nasty.
Looks like Lewd going to be making a full clear of the desert area. He's going to go ahead, check Agana Cave, find his little piece of love, then going to move on and give us our first taste of Desert Palace.
Desert Ledge just has a piece of heart. Duke making his triumphant return to Turtle Rock. He's going to get through it this time. I've got faith in him. He's going to get that bow, and he's going to head on to take on the rest of the seed.
I hope he gets the flippers when he gets the bow, too.
If he makes it that far and he grabs that safety entrance, no doubt will he be grabbing both.
Because I really don't want to see a quadruple dip of Turtle Rock. Now, Lewd giving us a peek here. We're going to have the big key that is going to unlock the big chest, and the left half of Desert Palace is completely open. Going to find the small key on the torch. So, again, probably going to check the... well, let's see here. Yeah, he's going to go ahead and check the big chest on the left side, then double back and take care of all of right side. Meanwhile, Blackjac making his way back into Thieves Town, again, probably thinking of making the Sahasrahla play. Unfortunately, we know that's not going to work out well for him.
Not at all. Lewd picking up that swag net in the big chest.
Swagging in strats and safety fairies.
It also looks like he's just going to go ahead and I can't remember. Did he go ahead and full clear the right side of Desert?
I don't know if he did.
So he may be just trying to make a quick play for Landmola to see if Landmola has the last item there.
Interesting play, but I kind of like it.
Yeah, actually, come to think of it, he would not have done right side because he still has the one key. So yeah, he's gambling on Landmola having the last item.
A very interesting play here, but I definitely can see the value in it. If Landmola has that last item, then he's done with Desert Palace. He doesn't need to go back there. Be a very big time save. Duke reaching the halfway point in Turtle Rock, if you will. Back here with a few more hearts this time around. Probably feels a little bit better. Gonna go ahead and check Mimic Cave while he's there. Unfortunately, nothing to find.
Making quick work.
Oh, go ahead. We're saying the same thing. I think it's a 2-cycle Landmola fight. Pretty good, but only finding a gritty burrito.
It definitely means another quick trip in to make sure he can grab that last item. For all we know, it could still be Ice Rod or Flute. I'm hoping for Flute for his sake. Otherwise, we are about to see an Ice Palace dip more than likely. It would be a smarter idea to dip Ice Palace with as many items as that would have in its potential, than make another trip up Death Mountain just to risk either.
Chat coming up with some pretty evil stuff of their own here. What if Trinex has the Flute?
That would be pretty nasty. However, that would mean that Ice Palace would have to hold the Ice Rod, which is not unheard of. I've seen it before. Ice Rod can be anywhere. But the Flute's right there.
There's your Flute. That means all we are looking for now is the Ice Rod. And Lewd wasting no time. He is going to go call up that Duck and say he needs a ride.
And Northern Hyrule Bonkables have both been checked. They were nothing of consequence.
Yes, chat, very much a lewd scene.
And as of yet, we have no finishers. So as soon as Lewd finds that Ice Rod, Lewd will be in go mode with all of 2 crystal dungeons left to clear. Possibly 1 if Meyer doesn't hold the Ice Rod, and he does still have to dip into Ice Palace.
Lewd making the smart play, though, going to Misery Mire, because he's got everything he needs to clear it. And, you find the Ice Rod, you're in go mode. Forget that Ice Palace. You're done with it. And,
yeah, Lana Bean, the chain of items just to get into Desert Palace was ridiculous. As Lana Bean pointed out here, Desert was book locked, which was boots locked, which was bow locked.
Yes, definitely a lot of prereqs required to get in there for Desert Palace.
And Bo being on the laser bridge just rubs salt in the wound. Which, by the way, Duke is at. About to pick up the bow in this chest.
Blackjac definitely putting the salt in Saltarello. A few rage slashes, and I can't say as I blame him. You put all that effort in, and that's all you got for me, old man? Come on. And now Duke getting everything he needs from Laser Bridge. Feeling a whole lot better now, I'm sure. Maybe a little exasperated, but definitely feeling a lot better. Certainly a lot better equipped now.
Oh, absolutely.
Now, Bacon heading down into Helmasaur's area, going to find something very nice when he gets down there.
And Blackjac heading back up the Turtle Rock as well. It's dawned on all of our runners at this point just how evil this seed was.
Definitely a mean seed. Comes out swinging. And J-Man, who else rolled this seed?
I'm not saying blame Willard just yet, but blame Willard.
Doesn't matter. It's always Willard's fault.
They have checked Zora. It's a $20 life lesson to be learned at Zora.
I've got to pay a little bit more attention to Lewd's stream because he's giving us fresh intel here. We definitely are going to be keeping an eye out for what's behind here. Bottle of Code Red for Lewd. That gives him another bottle and another safety item. You know, still bear in mind, this is he's got 12 hearts, but he's still got green mail, so those safeties are definitely going to come in handy.
And also keep in mind, that's the last bottle he'll be able to get. He has 2 bottles right now. The other bottles are locked in the Lumberjack cave behind Aga 1, and the last one is on the pedestal. So they only get the 2 bottles. They need to make them work. And something is telling me we're going to have green mail all the way to the end here. Quite possibly a green mail Ganon, which means they'll need to play it very safe.
Yeah, those Ganon hugs really hurt.
And just as a real quick reminder, they have been very entertaining dealing with this nasty seed today, pushing on very, very strong runners, very skilled runners. Out here in the chat today, go ahead and please give these runners a follow, show them some love. They have done very, very well tonight, every single one of them.
Yes, absolutely give every one of these runners a follow. They deserve it. They are subjecting themselves to this torment for our entertainment. So yes, please give them a follow. They absolutely deserve it. Now, an interesting point to make about Misery Mire. There are only 2 items that you will find here. He's already found a bottle, so looking like possibly this big chest, there's a powder. That's the only 2 items, so Ice Rod is not in Mire. However, worth noting, that powder opens up a nice safety net for him. He will be able to turn anti-fairies into fairies and be able to capture them to give himself a little extra wiggling room.
Also gives him one more overworld spot to check before relegating himself to dip into pendant dungeons.
You are absolutely right. And you have to wonder, somebody in chat mentioned it, if he's got powder, is he going to be tempted to go back and try to check Thieves Town?
That would be a very good... I mean, we know that it's not a good decision to make. But in the mind of someone who knows how to route properly, if you're going to go back to do the powder check, rope it in with something that makes it worth it. In this case, rope it in with Thieves Town to check items.
Very true, but good lord. Oh, Blackjac taking the death. That is a very unfortunate death to take right at the brink of Laser Bridge. Oh, that's a heartbreaker to watch.
Absolutely.
But he's going back in there, you know, he's being tenacious about it. Dust yourself off and get back in there. You got it, man.
Get back up on that horse. Bacon making good time. Right at the part where you can be ready to go ahead. You can go into Swamp Palace right now, finish knocking that out. Or you can go ahead and do what he needs to do to get into Desert Palace.
Who's going to be taking out Viddy here?
Oh, yeah.
Silver Arrow's making quick work of that big ol' eye. I am so sorry. I stepped all over you. Please. What were you going to say?
Oh, no. It's perfectly fine. Plus, I forgot.
But what if it was important?
It wasn't.
How do you know? You can't remember.
Because I do mostly color commentary.
So Lewd going to be checking Checkerboard Cave here. Only finding a quiver upgrade.
We are getting word that someone else has hit go mode. That is wonderful, but please, for the sake of this stream, please do not post any spoilers in chat. Everyone here has been on the edge of their seats wondering, you know, how we're going to go, how this is all going to end up. It'd be a shame to have it all spoiled now. So please hold on to those spoilers until later.
Let's see what the bat's got. What does Bruce Wayne have for us today? Does he have an ice rod? A nice rod?
Nope, just some arrows. I'm strongly thinking Ice Rod's hiding in Ice Palace.
Well, you know, physically speaking, that would make sense.
I mean, elementally speaking, it would make sense.
It's very elementary of you. Oh, Blackjac being very cautious here, but again, boy, you can't blame him. Look at the Canis Samaria. I love it.
That's got to be the neatest little tactic I've seen. Just nope, you shall not pass.
Oh, you want to knock me off? Think it's funny? Here, take this big red block to the face. Now, Lewd is going to give us our much-awaited trip into the frozen depths of Ice Palace.
Now, the key thing here is the second he finds Ice Palace, he can go ahead and mirror out, dip out, get up to Turtle Rock, get it done.
That's the only crystal he has left is Turtle Rock. So, yes, as soon as he finds that Ice Rod, he is out.
Willard, we can't be having spoilers like that now in chat, my friend. Come on.
Wait, you mean you have to kill Ganon? What? Blackjac possibly contemplating the importance of Laser Bridge before moving on, but the good thing is he has all of his stuff that he got from Laser Bridge, so now he's in a much better position to go ahead and finish out this scene. Duke, meanwhile, making pretty good work out of Argus, switching over to Silver Arrows. Remember, one Silver Arrow to the face, or to the eye, whatever, will take him out. But aiming those things can be kind of tough because Argus does have a very irregular hitbox. But he gets the shot and finishes off Argus quite nicely. Lewd also getting the nice 2-for-1 special on the Stalfos.
I still can't pull that off. I don't know why.
Now remember, because Lewd is still looking for the ice rod, he is not going to elect to do the Ice Palace bomb jump. He's going to be clearing out as much as he can because remember, as soon as he finds the ice rod, he's done.
Yeah, the goal here is to loot the place, not necessarily kill Cold Stare unless he has to.
Interesting strat on the hockey team. I've never seen the bombs in play before, but I like it. Swag points, for sure.
You typically see that strategy in swordless runs, so it was interesting to see it employed here.
I like it. Again, just points back to the very interesting of how many strats you can find and how many different methods you can use to get through this game. It never ceases to amaze me, the creativity that we'll have on some of our runners. Yes, my dog also loves this. Incoming Franker Z emotes, I'm sure.
The more you know, everybody. Link to the Past Randomizer. Not just entertaining for humans, also entertaining for dogs.
Getting back to Duke, making his way again through Palace of Darkness. Lewd's still on the hunt for that ice rod. Not sure where it is yet. Running out of spots to check, though.
Bacon having picked up the flute, so it'll be interesting to see where they decide to go next. I still say they should opt to go ahead and knock out Swamp Palace, get that out of the way. Or actually, I don't know at this point if... Well, no, they would probably need to go ahead and do Swamp Palace, and they're more than likely going to pull
ice rod!
There we go. There we go. LewdDolphin at 1 hour and 46 minutes and 49 seconds?
50-ish seconds. Somewhere in there. We're in go mode.
Hit go mode.
We are in that goest of all modes. Now it's a straight plow up to Trinex, take care of arguably the cutest boss, depending on who you ask. And then straight up the tower, we're going to be having us a barbecue here before much longer.
Lewd realizes right now that he could be dealing with a green tunic Ganon, so he's getting himself ready for the fight ahead of him. Smart move, in my opinion.
Yes, that's a very smart move, because Ganon hurts in green mail.
But I'm also sad to report, for those of you hoping to see Lewd finish first, we do have our first place finisher with a time of 1 hour, 46 minutes, and 58 seconds. INC None has snagged first place.
Congratulations. Given how mean this seed is, that is a very amazing time.
That is indeed an impressive time for what we have seen these runners endure. As I said, the majority of who we have on screen here are relatively up and coming. They're newer runners. Lewd is an established runner. They are a very, very practiced and talented runner, and even Lewd has run into some tight scenarios here.
Now, taking stock of the rest of our runners, looks like Duke's still in Palace of Darkness. Blackjac's going to be taking care of Eastern first. Very interesting choice there. Lewd, of course, making his way back into Turtle Rock for the final time. And Bacon, with his brand new duck call, is going to be getting a ride on that best of airlines, Swag Duck Airlines. And every name is taken. The ice rod was in the big chest in Ice Palace. Fancy that.
Sports FA, technically logic would have required you to dip into Hera to get that cane, although I would not say that the cane was required, as there are strategies to get by it. It does make life a lot easier, though, I will agree there. Looney Tangent, I would say out of all the runners here, Lewd definitely has the favored lead by quite a considerable amount. They are in go mode. They've just got to clear Turtle Rock, and they're off to Ganon's Tower.
And we've talked about it all seed long, but Lewd made the initial charge all the way through to Laser Bridge in Turtle Rock, and that was definitely the game changer here. Getting not only bow, but flippers as well. So yes, definitely a payoff. And also, again, worth noting that he did it with very few hearts and green mail. So it was very much a risky play, but pulled it off.
Yeah, the lion's share of progression was locked in an early Turtle Rock.
Yes, an early nasty Turtle Rock.
Yes, Lewd picked up a shield upgrade earlier on. I can't remember exactly where.
Duke making very quick work of Helmasaur King, finding his Helmasaur King studded boots. Now, interesting note, for Trinex, LewdDolphin still only has the Master Sword, so having to resort to rod shots and a hammer to try to make quick work of him.
Not to mention, every time Trinex's main head decides to give him a little kiss, he's going to be feeling it.
Just like that. It hurts. It really hurts, ladies and gentlemen. And it really hurts again. Oh, blue potion, blue potion. Got a blue potion. Now would be
I've got faith in Lewd. I've got faith in Lewd.
Ooh,
he doesn't have faith in himself.
Lewd does not have faith in Lewd. But look at it this way. Won't have to waste time with refilling the magic in the heart containers. So it's a time save.
This is true. Plus, he does have the swag net and the dust. So Ganon's Tower, easy fairy refill if you really feel you need it.
In Sports Hefe, I like the way you said it. Better a live chicken than a dead duck. Although we try not to speak ill of ducks around here.
Not since the incident.
Alright, kiddos, it is that time of the night. Now, it is not a tournament stream, but we do this around here just for fun, just for bragging rights, just for whatever you want. I don't care. Get those Ganon's Tower guesses in now. Now, Zombie, my good friend, what is your guess tonight?
I mean, my personal favorite has always been Bob's chest. I like it.
You heard it, ladies and gentlemen. His guess is 14. Now, you will not win anything, except, well, you might win something. Lifetime supply of love and affection, courtesy of your good friends, Zombie Punk and Jaxus. My guess, however, I'm going to be a jerk. Tile room. That's my guess. I will, not only by number, I will narrow it by location. Tile room. 22, normally.
Or I was about to say, of course, we just got proved wrong, but I was about to say, could be in the location that it was in our little race last night, which was the very first chest. But no, it's not going to be that kind.
This seed just went from waist to foist.
And yet, Chad is also bringing up a good point. If this big key is early enough, there is a very dangerous chance that they will not find any armor upgrades or weapon upgrades. they could be doing a Master Sword Ganon in a green tunic.
Oh, that is horrifying. The thought of that is
At least they won't be doing it without half magic, as LewdDolphin just showed.
Oh, thank heavens for small favors, right?
Yes, Cyclone, thank you for that heads up there. TGH has finished in second place with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 54 minutes, and 52 seconds. Congratulations, TGH, on second place.
Now, we have had a couple more forfeits in the meantime, but again, ladies and gentlemen, you can't blame them because this has been a brutal, brutal seed. I mean, this seed will beat you up and take your lunch money.
And we've also got our third place finish now. We got Ebonitis with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 55 minutes, and 50 seconds. Yes, that is technically kind of in the future. I won't hold that against Ebonitis.
Lude, striking out on chess 1 through 9, going to be checking the rando room here, called because you never see this room except in rando, because of the 4 chests that are in here. Let's see what we got tonight. 10 has a tunic. 11!
Winning number is 11. They are going to be going in with blue mail, which, if you got to do Master Sword Ganon, at least get a blue mail out of the deal.
Well, you have doubled your effective health pool, so, you know, that is definitely a good find to have. And for anybody that guessed 11, congratulations. Trigonometry, you guessed 11. Let's see, who else? Silverine64, John 11. I'm sure there were a few more in there. You win a lifetime... Oh, our good buddy Cyclone, our tracker, our resident witch. All of you win a lifetime supply of love and affection, courtesy of Zombie Punk and Jaxus X. Prices may vary. See store for details. Non-refundable. See the waitress outside.
Indeed. Now, I can't speak for the Jaxus love and affection. That's on you. But the zombie love and affection does come with a little bit of necrosis. Zombie, after all. Apologize.
Now, this is the part of the run I always love to see. It is the Ganon's Tower climb, because this is where you get to see a lot of good execution. This is where, when you run all those practice runs, this is what you focus on, because it's the one part of the run that is pretty well homogeneous. You can do this pretty much the same way every time, so it's a good chance for our runners to showcase some skill and some good strats. Lude opting to go with Bombos.
Yeah, Lude taking no chances. Lude wants to get through this without any fuss. He's got that half magic. He's not afraid to use it. Blasting everything with Bombos. He just wants to get through this and get on up to Aghanim.
Can't say as I blame him, but yes, you'll see some interesting strats on display here. Now, with that last room, with those blue Zizaks, the Master Sword will take them out in 1 swipe. These red ones will take 2. So using Bombos here, a bit of a time save. Come up to Lanmola's round 2. 1 silver arrow to the head apiece takes these guys out.
1 cycle, 2.
Nice 1 cycle. Beautiful on display there.
And just, of course, we've been focusing on Lude quite a bit here as he climbs up through Ganon's Tower. But just as a quick, status on the rest of the crew here, Bacon getting very close to reaching Argus and showing him what for before more than likely moving on to Meyer. Duke is still playing catch-up. I do believe, have they not cleared Pod yet? They've cleared EP, but not Pod?
It's what I'm seeing. Possibly they've done Pod. I'm not 100% sure, though. I'd have to look back at it. It looks like Duke is on his way to...
possibly Swamp.
Possibly. Blackjac going to grab his book.
And probably going to be making their way to Desert after that as well. I'm getting word from chat that Duke did clear pod, so okay, and now it's showing on the tracker. Very good.
And Lude, making the excellent choice to check both of those chests, finds the carrot cutlass for his trouble. The ketchup claymore, the bacon blade. Master Sword Ganon, no longer a thing.
Definitely going to make life a bit easier.
And at this point, with a red sword in hand and blue mail, he's like, I don't really need to check the rest of these chests. I'm good.
Trolled arm there for a moment. I thought he had him backed into a corner. Oh,
no.
May have jinxed it.
Why do you do that?
Not sure.
Get it out of your system now before Ganon.
Possibly I'm evil. I can't tell.
Folks, no possibly. He is evil. Oh, see? Just get the falls out of your system now before you get to Ganon. But folks, that's why we call him Trolldorn, because he is oh so trolly.
Yeah, I don't claim that second one, by the way. Just for the record. Or the third one.
And I'm not going to claim this fourth one that comes up if it comes up. See?
Nope. Lou decided he was having enough of it. Done.
Getting a few extra pokes in with that red sword to finish the job, make sure he's dead. Validates and finds a pie plate for his troubles. But hey, now we know where the boss is.
Absolutely.
Bacon going to be making that very essential trip to Fat Fairy. I'm sorry, Pauladine Fairy. Pleasantly Plump Fairy.
Now, fourth place is still up for grabs. We've not had a fourth place finisher after Evanitis. Lude could be that fourth place finisher. And in a race of 54 people, that is huge. That is a very nice place to finish, especially given what we've seen out of this.
Nice triple! Very nice triple out of Lude.
First place finish was INC None. I believe was that the name again? I forget. I'm horrible at this. INC None. Yes, was first place. They had an official SRL time of 1 hour 46 minutes and 58 seconds. Thank you, Sports FA, for the backup there.
And Ganon giving us a little bit of sarcastic wisdom to start the day, or end the day, as it will.
None Incorporated. Why didn't I think of that, Willard? Wow.
Lude making good use of that hook shot to dodge those fire bats. The iframes provided there, very helpful for dodging that ring.
He's willing to take a little bit of damage here. He's wanting to get out of this phase. I've seen Lude do Ganon before. Once he gets out of this, which he's now in phase 3, at this point, I don't think I have to worry about Lude taking any more damage. Now it's just a matter of getting him shot.
Blackjac making his way to the back of Desert Palace, going to take out Landmola's there. He's right on the heels of DukeFireBird, who's just a couple rooms ahead of him. Bacon, meanwhile, coming out of Fat Fairy with his prizes in tow. Oh, nice!
That was a very, very nice Ganon from Lude. Not only was that a nice double at the end, that was a single lantern cycle, was that not?
That was a one-cycle phase 4 Ganon. That is very, very impressive.
Extremely. And that is going to put Actually, sadly, that does put LewdDolphin in 5th place. Lewd was sniped just a little bit by
11
unfit.
seconds. No, wait, a minute 11 seconds. Unfit finishing 4th. 2:03.12. LewdDolphin taking 5th with a time of 2:04.23.
And Zodastone coming in 6th with 2:05.06. So there we go. We're going to see if we can get Lewd in here for an interview. So bear with us just one moment.
And meanwhile, while we wait on Lewd, Blackjac is going to give us a nice one cycle out of Landmullas. Duke also finishing off Landmullas. These guys are running neck and neck with each other. Looks like the edge is going to go to Duke because I don't think Blackjac has done Swamp Palace yet. Perhaps he has, though. Can we get any clarification if Black has indeed finished Swamp Palace?
And we've got LewdDolphin in comms today for...
Good game, sir. I salute you for that.
That shouldn't have worked.
That seed shouldn't have happened. It's more like it.
Like, what the heck? Flippers, mirror, bow, and turtle rock? What?
That was a crazy laser bridge. We got to talk about that first. Okay, you came across the mirror early in Turtle Rock. You kept going. Obviously was the good play to make. What was going through your mind, not only as you were going through Turtle Rock, but when you got to the end at Laser Bridge? What were you thinking the whole time?
Well, every time I got an item, including Ether, which ultimately was useless, but every time I got an item, I typed in my chat, which is code in my usual runs for that is an interesting item. So Ether, mirror, flippers, bow, and that was so stupid. I entered it and I'm like, oh god, I don't have mirror. I can't check Mimic Cave. Oh, there's the mirror. Okay, well, fine.
That was without a doubt the craziest Turtle Rock I've seen in a while. I know that it's not uncommon to have Turtle Rock hide some progression, possibly even to the point of needing to double dip Turtle Rock just to clear the rest of the dungeons. But that was ridiculous. Not only did it have the lion's share of progression items in it that locked a whole bunch of dungeons out until you decided to do it, you had to do it at such a point that where you're wearing green mail and have a low heart counter, you had some seemingly rough moments.
I entered with 1 heart, and I thought, okay, when am I gonna die? And I somehow made it to Laser Bridge, and I almost managed to do the entire Laser Bridge without dying. And then the 4th chest killed me repeatedly.
Sadly, our other 3 featured runners got pretty badly assaulted by that dungeon, to the point to where only one other actually pushed all the way through. The others ended up leaving and having to come back later once they fully ran out of other options.
Yeah, because when I entered it, I knew that I hadn't checked Thieves Town. I think there was a number of overworld locations I hadn't checked. Originally, I wasn't going to enter Turtle Rock unless I found the fire rod.
And then having it right there in Hookshot Cave, that was a big, blaring alarm. Hey, next door, check it out.
Right. I can at least get through to Laser Bridge, so if it has progression, which, honestly, out of, the past 5 seeds, it didn't, and it was a go mode dungeon, but if it had progression this one time, it's going to pay off.
Now, leaving the obvious for Turtle Rock to the side, I mean, this was a pretty brutal seed. I mean, how confident were you feeling as you ran through this thing? Because, I mean, this seed, just based on what we've seen, was an absolute meat grinder.
I felt like I wasn't really doing too well when I got the Moon Pearl from Witch's Hut, because I felt like there were several other locations. I was reduced to single spots that were out of the way. And if anyone had gone there right after checking East Palace, that would have help them out, or if they decided they weren't going to go to Death Mountain until they had Hammer or Mirror or Mitts or Moon Pearl or whatever, that would have paid off better. Because Death Mountain, like my first venture to Death Mountain had nothing, and so I felt, oh god, I sequence broke East Palace for nothing, and then getting the lamp from Moldorm Cave, I thought, oh, now the one chest I didn't check in the escape because I didn't have a good means of getting through the dark room. That is where the progression is. It's just like early on, there's a bunch of thoughts like, I bailed from one location or I committed to one gamble that didn't pay off. When I got to Dark World, I thought I'm just gonna skip Thieves Town if it has progression, and I'm even more screwed. I checked Skull early, what didn't pay off. Saw the Master Sword, or then what was then the Master Sword on Bumper Cave, and I thought, oh god, if the cape was somewhere I missed, then that's I just thought like there was a bunch of things that like I didn't know where the cape was. If someone had found it and it was in a location I should have checked, then I was behind. But once I got to Turtle Rock and I got those items, I'm like, okay, yeah, there's not too many people that will commit to the early Turtle Rock gamble. So I felt I was doing pretty well at that point.
Yeah, literally the only runner we had that did commit, and they still had a rough go of it, was Bacon. Because a lot of him was saying that everyone but Lewd bailed out of Turtle Rock early. Bacon didn't bail; they just took a lot of deaths, but they did soldier through it.
Now,
you are correct, chat. Bacon never did go into Hera. They do not have the Cane of Brian.
Now, I have to ask, Lewd, if you had died in Turtle Rock, would you have still committed to doing the single dip all the way to Laser Bridge, or do you think you would have bailed early?
I would have committed. I just commit to the stupid decisions, like never checking Thieves Town. As soon as I went to Death Mountain, I was like, all right, Thieves Town is my last place I'm going to, even though like everyone who has ran rando tends to say check Thieves Town even if it's pendant, it has items. Well, I didn't, so I commit to the dumb decisions. I would have like if I had died I was worried about dying with the bouncy guy that has the key into the lava bridge room. I was worried about dying there. Even if I had died there, I would have still committed, especially because I had the mirror, so I could check Mimic Cave.
Oh, absolutely. Well, and stupid decision or not, it obviously paid off.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because by the time that you got all the way out of Turtle Rock, you had all your items in tow, you decided to go do the pod EP combo, you had a defiant, crystal clear lead on the other runners.
Yeah, I could do everything except for Meyer at that point, so... Oh, geez, it opened up so many doors. It was ridiculous.
Worth noting, only 5 deaths. So yes, a very, very clean run. You didn't get beaten up nearly so badly in this seed.
Yeah, and some of those deaths were on Laser Bridge. I tried to death warp in Skull after checking the chest behind the block door. And I forgot I had the fairy. And when I lost that fairy, I'm like, I wish I had this fairy for 6 hearts green mail Dark World. And then when I was in Laser Bridge, I'm like, I wish I had this fairy for 7 heart green mail Laser Bridge.
Oh no, Duke taking a death. Oh, but safety fairy.
Press F for fairy, chat.
That actually reminds me that Duke was literally the only one of our 4 runners that earlier on did not lose their fairy to an accidental death, accidental fairy usage during an attempted death warp. Bacon, Lewd, and Blackjac all wasted their fairy trying to death warp. Actually, was everyone trying to death warp in Escape? I know Blackjac and Bacon tried to death warp in Escape, and that's where they lost their fairy. Where did you try to death warp at, Lewd? Was it? It was in Skull Woods, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was Skull Woods. Behind the door that you would usually use the cane to hit the block instead of pushing the statue around. I wasn't going to death warp, but then I got hit by the mummy and I was at 3 hearts. I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna take the death here and get restored to 5 hearts. And then as I died, I remembered I have the fairy. Shoot! But yeah, the waterfall fairy had, or was it the pyramid fairy at that point? I don't remember. one of the fairies had a fairy in a bottle, so I got that fairy back, and then I ended up just throwing it away to get blue potions.
I think it was when you threw your bottle in at Thick Fairy that you got the fairy in a bottle there.
Ah. Yeah, when I got Bombos there, I thought, because I had no idea what Maya required, and then it ended up being Bombos, so it was a required pyramid fairy.
What would you say was your favorite part of this seed?
Turtle Rock.
Turtle Rock. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the type of masochist that Lewd is.
I mean, not only was it like the gamble, but the fact that I managed to last so long, starting from 1 heart and green mail, I was pretty happy with that. I only wish I could execute Laser Bridge better, but I mean, it paid off for me, so
It worked. Chat, if you have any questions for our good friend Lewd, don't be afraid to post them in there. I mean, we're talking this up, but if you have questions, please feel free to post them in chat. We'll definitely ask.
And just real quickly, just to round out the rest of our top 10 finishers for this race, because I always like to try to do the top 10 just to let everyone know who finished. We got F. Coughlin finishing in 7th place with 2:08.19. Blaine finishing in 8th place with 2:08.22. Then we have Salty Fry finishing in 9th place with 2:09.24. And El Tigre in 10th place with a time of 2:09.26. So nice little cluster of finishes there to wrap off the top 10.
Okay, I almost hate to ask this question, but I'm going to pass it along from Stuckman. What were your thoughts when you were at the top of the tower and you had those unfortunate run-ins with Troll Dorm number 2?
I can just say that was nerves at that point. I don't know. I mean, Moldorm can either cooperate or troll the hell out of you, and this time, I mean, like, part of it was my error, part of it was Trolldorm. Falling like 3 or 4 times, I'm just thinking, oh god.
And I'm totally not going to claim commentator's curse saying that you were going to fall before you fell.
I'm going to claim anti-commentator's curse and say that I kept him from falling a 4th time. Does that count?
Oh, sweet. Thank you. I appreciate that.
I said when he falls his 4th time, it's not my fault. And you didn't fall. So, yes.
Willard J. Bradley has a question. Why a dolphin?
It's my favorite animal. I have like a really boring explanation of how my name came about, but the lewd part originally wasn't because I was lewd, but it was because when I was in high school playing Smash Brothers and we were limited to 4 characters, I went with lewd because it sounded nice. And honestly, I lived under a rock and I didn't know what lewd meant, but I thought it sounded nice. And then I realized, oh god, that means something lewd. And then the dolphin part was because I needed a username that was longer than 4 characters, and I went with my favorite animal. And it's just stuck.
So my very poor nickname in IRC of Deviant Porpoise, not quite applicable.
Not quite, but I appreciate the thesaurus names for me.
Unfortunately, not to get back to the commentary here, but Blackjac taking a death to Argus. Again, this has been a very punishing seed for the most part. LewdDolphin coming in at only 5 deaths, most of those on Laser Bridge, so you did fare better than most did, but this has just been a brutal seed.
And the thing is, I definitely feel bad for anyone when they go to the rando room in Ganon's Tower. If they check the bottom right chest first, grab that key, and immediately jet without picking up that blue mail in the bottom left. Huh. I'd hate to think of that happening. I do hope that all of our runners here do decide to check fully that rando room before moving on.
Yeah, I was at Green Mail Master Sword. I wasn't going to skip out in the other 4 chests, or 3 chests. I needed to get that sword upgrade, or the mail, to make me feel more comfortable.
I'm not going to lie. I was still kind of holding out, waiting to see if this seed was seriously going to force you, after all you had been through, to do a Green Mail Master Sword Ganon. With only 2 bottles you could access, because the other 2 are locked behind a Aga 1 and Ped.
Oh right, yeah. I remember, I remembered the bottle was on Lumberjack Cave for a while. Once I got the bottle from the old man, I marked it off the tracker, and then I checked later the bottle on the pedestal, but I forgot at that point the other bottle was on Lumberjack. I was still thinking, oh, maybe there's a third bottle somewhere.
Lucius asking a question, chat. Lucius Zero. How did the combat feel to you? Do you feel that that the fact that there was again, low armor, low heart count? Do you feel that having polished combat abilities was a big help during this siege?
Well, I mean, of course. I wish I had executed better on Helmassar King. I was thinking, like, this is sort of the setup you would have in an NMG run going in here. I think you would have 6 hearts or 7 hearts with Master Sword Greenmail, and I was thinking, just pretend this is an NMG run and don't die. And then I died, and I realized I'm not good at NMG.
Also, real quick, Duke did grab that ice rod off the Turtle Rock to finish the fight.
Indeed, he is also in that goest of all modes now.
Bacon not going to be very far behind. Bacon's about to do their dip in Ice Palace.
So the Bombos and Gauntlet was because, for one, I hate the Stalfos in those first 2 rooms. They always bounce all over the place and then decide to hit you back, and then you try to swipe them, and then they dodge and hit you back, and it's just a terrible game. But also the Red Lizards take 2 Master Sword swipes to die. I guess I've heard the ideal strat is sometimes to just use Fire Rod and kill them in 1 hit, but if I have less than Tempered Sword, I tend to just use Bombos if I have half magic.
Now, speaking of those lizard creatures, I've always been meaning to ask this. Hopefully, one of you all can clarify, or maybe someone in the chat. I've always been pretty decent in terms of, Legend of Zelda bestiary, enemy names. Are those enemies supposed to be like Lizafos, or are they more supposed to be like the Darias from Zelda 2?
I don't know.
I think they're actually called Zizax, if I have it correct.
What are they supposed to be called now?
They're called Zizax. I think they're derived from Zelda 2. Again, chat, feel free to chime in because I'm not quite so up on my lore here.
In Zelda 2, the lizard enemies with the hatchets were called Darias. Zizax, thank you, Fuchsia Fantasy. Yeah, Duke does indeed have the flute. It just wasn't marked. This has been a bit of a crazy run. I can excuse our trackers for maybe missing a thing or two from time to time. I know when I track, it can be quite hectic.
Now remember, as soon as Bacon gets down to the big chest, that's where the ice rod is. He will be in go mode at that point. Blackjac, meanwhile, is going to be making his trek over to Mire. Duke taking an interesting approach here. It is slightly quicker to go. You don't have to go out and then come back in through the big chest room to go through Turtle Rock. You can actually bypass that. However, still being in Greenmail, if something unfortunate were to happen, he will have a closer respawn. He will not have to negotiate the front half of Turtle Rock again. So, again, picking up a pretty good safety checkpoint.
And one other question from me, Lewd. What is one thing you wish you would have done different in this run?
I don't know. There's always a bunch of coulda, woulda, shouldas. Like, I shouldn't have checked Death Mountain as early as I did, or I shouldn't have decided to check Hera after getting the first item and realizing I needed to do the basement to continue on, or I was thinking maybe I should have put off Skull until I had gotten a book so that I could check Bombo's tablet after or before doing Swamp in conjunction with checking Pyramid Fairy. But I feel like I did a decent job.
Now, Math Girl in chat, this seed was pulled directly out of the pits of hell, and that's why, that's why we're still 2.5 hours in and only one runner finished. Because this has been a brutal seed.
And Rywek, I am Zombie Punk, and my awesome co-commentator here is Jaxus.
I would be Jaxus. The X is silent.
Which one?
The X.
Okay, so it's J06?
The X on the end. Yeah, Zombie Punk.
Hey?
What, your X isn't silent?
Hey, what's good for the goose is good for the chicken. That's the words, right?
I guess. Now, well, getting back to here, something that is good, depending on your perspective. At least Duke is going to have the hammer to help deal some damage to that head, but he's going to be very careful and be very conservative about his rod shots.
Which
I hope
he
he's
has
got
not.
no. Oh no! No!
Now, luckily, there's a magic container right outside, so I mean, it's not the worst thing that could ever happen. It's definitely not good. Anytime you have to fight Trinex without half magic, it can just be a nightmare to deal with, because you have, if I remember correctly, from full magic you have 8 shots, correct?
Yes. I believe that's correct.
You need, with a hammer, with extremely good strategies, 2 shots per head, but on average it's 3 shots per head. That means you can afford to miss 2.
Well, and remember, you also have a very limited time window to be able to hit with the hammer. Also, you've got to factor in the time of switching to the hammer if you want to do tempered sword damage. Otherwise, you have the Master Sword. It takes, I believe, 7 or 8 swings apiece. And unfortunately, I don't know if he's going to be able to finish the fight this time.
No, I don't believe so. When you're in the situation, I remember the first time I had to do a hammer, no half magic. You have to take it slow and deliberate. If half your arena ends up covered in ice, half the arena ends up covered in ice. Better safe than sorry. Take it easy or you're going to drive yourself mad. And I have a feeling he's about to dip out to go get some green potions, which is very unfortunate, having to climb back up Death Mountain.
Yeah, that's a very unfortunate turn of events here. But again, with Master Sword and no half magic, this is a tough Trinex fight, and just indicative of this seed as a whole. It has been just rough. Lewd, let's go back to something that you did. Now, remind me if I'm mistaken. You actually went and got safety potions before coming back to Turtle Rock, didn't you?
Yes. Because that was I'm going to go do Turtle Rock and then go into GT, and I have 1 fairy in a bottle, but I don't have half magic. I have Master Sword. I have Green Mail. I probably am just going to take this safety. And some people make fun of me for that. They call it the lewd shopping trip, but I thought, screw it. I would rather, have that magic backup and heart backup.
And to be 100% fair, at that point in time, I realize people say, oh, well, Ganon's Tower has, 20-something items. I mean, you're fine. You still can't be guaranteed a sword or a mail upgrade before you find that big key. And yes, you can continue to scour the place, but do you want to?
For all I knew, at that point, Thieves Town had 2 mail upgrades and 2 sword upgrades. Or no, I knew what were 1 sword of. So like 2 mail upgrades, the cape, and the other sword upgrade. So I had to commit to having to do terrible things.
Duke gonna have to be very conservative with this Trinex fight here. That blue head is not cooperating at all. Also, that hammer has a very... Oh, no! Oh, no! Both Bacon and Duke. Oh, but they've got fairies. 2 Fs in chat for fairies, please. F and F. The simultaneous fairy save. Clip that.
The synchronized fairies.
Yeah, that hammer hitbox is so erratic. So getting in close for those heads, a very risky gambit to take.
Duke finally getting his revenge on Trinex, getting that little bit of money. He won't be needing it where he's going. He's off the Ganon's tower, and to finish off this fight once and for all. Blackjac. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I'm just to say, and Bacon right on his heels. Ladies and gentlemen, we got ourselves a race here. I mean, this is very hype. They're within seconds of each other.
Yeah, between the two of them, it will definitely come down to, because unless one of them makes a full commitment to going right in GT, this will come down to execution in the gauntlet.
I entirely agree with you. This is going to be execution based. This is going to be very hyped to watch them make their climb. Blackjac, meanwhile, finishing off Vitreous. A few more silver arrows, and we'll be giving one big bye to one great big eye. And Karen OP, we were talking about Bacon and DukeFireBird. They are literally right neck and neck.
Duke, I believe actually, I don't believe you checked Ether, did you, Lewd?
No, I was in go mode at that point.
Yeah. So Duke checking Ether just to be safe. It is just an arrow upgrade, so nothing major. So we still have no idea where the red mail upgrade is. Of course, we know the final sword upgrade was on Bumper Cave. So no one would have had Butter Sword going into this, because we also have no idea where the cape is.
Going with only Master Sword, like you said, at this point you're starting to get nervous. God, you don't want to do Master Sword Ganon. I mean, if you can keep from it. Let's get back to you, Lewd. I mean, now how were you feeling going up the tower before you found your level 3 sword? I mean, what was going through your mind girding up for a potential Master Sword Ganon?
I just was trying to keep calm, because when you go into a Master Sword Ganon fight, it's going to be a longer fight than normal, and especially with Green Mail, you can't take as many hits. So I was just thinking, take your time. If you get hit, I mean, you can take a few hits, but don't take too many. You have 2 blue potions, but you still don't have too many hits. Just survive and finish the seed, and then you can freak out about Master Sword Ganon. But I have the philosophy that dying is generally slower than not dying, unless you're, of course, death warping, or, well, it is the case if you try to death warp with a fairy.
I do believe Douglas Adams said it best, don't panic, followed quickly by always remember your towel.
And to answer the question in chat, yes, if you were going to do silverless Master Sword Ganon, now bear in mind, our guys found the arrows in Escape. The silver arrows were in the Escape chest. Now, if you do Master Sword silverless Ganon, now first of all, you can only attack Ganon with a spin attack. It's the only attack with a Master Sword that will do enough damage to break through the armor rating. Now, if you have no silver arrows, it takes 52 total spins to kill Ganon. 12 in phase 1, 12 in phase 2, 4 to get him through phase 3, and then it will take, let's see, 24 in phase 4.
That's a full deck of cards.
Yeah, you can literally take a deck of cards and peel one off every time you land a spin attack. And when you deplete the deck, Ganon's dead.
I've done it before. It sucks, but I've done it before.
Blackjac, I do believe does have ice. No,
he doesn't. He does not have the ice rod.
No, because he's not done Turtle Rock yet. So he has seriously not done Ice Palace. He's going to go do Spike Cave.
Spike Cave. Right, Jokers don't count. Everybody knows that.
What about the rule cards?
I don't know. Doesn't count. Now, getting back to this neck-and-neck race with Bacon and Duke. Looks like Bacon in the first red mimic room. Duke going to be in the second. Lining up those shots on those mimics. He's going to plow on through. Bacon having a little bit of trouble with the mimics, trying to manipulate them both where hopefully he can get 2 right in a row.
Yeah, I'm assuming he's not as familiar with the repeatedly sword slashing trick to get them to move. Me personally, I use that trick right there that he just did, although I'm typically facing downward so I can snipe them right as they come around the corner. But there's a number of ways you can what's the word I'm looking for? You can force the mimics to move to where you want them to move without necessarily positioning yourself all around.
Absolutely. Bacon now getting into the spike trap room. Duke getting into the heart of the gauntlet here in the red Stalfos room, going down. Now remember, we saw Lewd doing bombo strats to deal with a lot of these rooms. Maybe we'll see some of the same strats out of Duke. Actually, opting to use silver arrows. Now, Bacon is going to be opting to take the safety fairies here. Now, there are 2 fairies down here, and it looks like he will be opting to bottle one and use one. Duke going to have to be very careful here. Half of a heart remaining. Getting 2 of the 3 land molas, unfortunately missing that one, so it looks like he will get... Oh no, missing the second one. This could potentially be a 3-cycle land mola. This may give Bacon time to catch up.
I felt so pumped when I single-cycled them.
Oh, speaking of single cycle, none of us touched on this. One thing that I found incredibly impressive... You got the double shot off to finish Ganon off, but I'm not sure. I'm assuming you did notice that you did a single light cycle.
Yes,
that impressed me.
And I got the torch glitch with 1 shot of the fire rod.
Boy, you can't get really more precise than that, other than doing it in 2 doubles. Or maybe a triple and a single, but still.
Yes, that was very impressive execution.
Thank you. I don't know why, but I've gotten really good at torch glitch with fire rod and generally silver arrows Ganon.
I can tell you why. We run this too much.
Do 3 seeds a day. You just get used to it.
Bacon looks like he will also potentially get it could be a 4-cycle land mola for him. That fireball shooter in the corner really giving him problems tonight. But I mean, that's with no shield really to block those. Actually, no, he has the fire shield, doesn't he?
He does have the fire shield. He can be blocking it, but still, you do have to be aimed at the direction that that it's coming from. And when you're trying to position yourself for the land molas, that's not always easy to do.
Duke finding the red armor, it was in the chest before Trolldorm 2. Oh. Lewd, how you feel about that one?
Well, it wouldn't have made a difference at that point.
Very true, but what a troll place to put that armor.
I mean, when I had the tempered sword, I knew, like, all right, I mean, I know where one bottle is. Actually, I knew where two bottles were, but I forgot. I know where the butter sword is, so there's not really much incentive to check that chest at that point.
Yeah, at that point, when you're in go mode and you are confident that, like, with the gear you got, can you deal with Ganon appropriately? Yes, all right, forget about it, let's go. We got things to do. And, you know, evil villains to destroy. Was that a triple or is that a double from Duke?
I think it was actually a single. I think he slightly missed on one of the fireballs.
Oh, okay.
Now that was a nice double out of Duke.
I believe Willard is calling into question your phase 2.
Yes, I know it takes 12 hits, but I mean, what else am I gonna do when I'm waiting for him to do the fire bat launch? I couldn't single cycle it. I was very close, but
Now, Duke finishing off Aga 2, going over to Ganon. Bacon, unfortunately, taking a fall to Trolldorm 2. Now, remember, a Ganon fall still separates these two, so there's not a whole lot of buffer room. So it's still a very close race. But Bacon, unfortunately, taking another fall to Trolldorm. And that's why we call him that, ladies and gentlemen.
I've said nothing
nice.
this time, by the way. Absolutely nothing. Just want to put that on the record.
I see you looking at me. It's not my fault.
And as of right now, out of our original 54 runners, the most recent finish is 27th place. So this has not been an easy seed by any stretch of the imagination.
Only the top half of the field finishing so far. So yes, this has been a brutal seed. We've said it once, we'll say it again.
I mean, with all the progression locked behind Turtle Rock with Greenmail and few hearts, yeah, it's terrible.
Oh, good lord. Look at what sword Bacon has. Ladies and gentlemen, you will probably see a Master Sword Ganon. Oh no, Duke taking the fall. Oh lord.
Oh no. Oh, I thought there was a rage quit there for a second. I just saw no signal. I was like, no!
Not this close to the end. But, okay, so look at this, though. Bacon is finishing up Aga 2 as we speak. Duke is going to be taking out Ganon, hopefully soon, but he took a fall. But now, look, he has Tempered Sword. Bacon only has Master Sword. So I mean, I still definitely have to give the advantage to Duke, but it'll be interesting to see how this pans out. For those of you that are going to be counting at home, there'll be 28 cards, not 52, in this particular Bacon fight.
I was going to say, regardless of the outcome, this is not going to be a very fun fight ahead of Bacon.
How ironic, though, that Bacon does not have Bacon.
Everyone else took his sword.
Unfortunately, with the late hit, Ganon able to get that fire bat off, but Duke doing a very good job dodging around those. Bacon giving us the introduction to Master Sword Ganon. Remember, only a spin attack will hurt him.
Oh no!
Oh, that's big.
Duke got caught up in another fire bat wave and got bounced between two fire bats, taking the death.
Now, I will still give the slight edge to Duke here, but it is a thin, and I mean razor-thin advantage.
My question is this: does Bacon have a backup fairy or potion? Because it's looking kind of grim.
Ooh, I don't know. We're going to find out here shortly.
Yes!
He has a backup fairy. Give you a big old capital F in chat. Come on, folks. We got a hype race here. Let's see some hype in chat. I mean, I am on the edge of my seat for this. This is hype right here. This is big.
Slow and steady wins the race here.
Again, Duke has an edge. It's a very thin edge, but he is holding on to it. Bacon gonna have to be very, very, very careful here.
That's not a good place to stand, Bacon.
Does he have another one? We have another F?
No.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Yes, definitely to note, if it's an F in chat this time, it's an F to pay respects. Oh, no.
Oh.
He mirrored in the wall. He cannot get back to the portal. Oh, that is unfortunate for Bacon. And
but
just
gives him a
testament
chance
to
to
how
get
tough
some,
it is.
He'll get some potions and he'll finish out the fight. Blackjac, I am thinking we may have lost. I do not have anything official on that yet, other than word from Willard here that he did say he had something in real life, possibly. So. We may see Blackjac being done. This is an exceptionally long seed by normal standards. So
that was a seed.
But yes, DukeFireBird finishing with an official SRL time of 2 hours, 46 minutes, and 33 seconds. And wow, Bacon has their volume loud.
Duke finishing in 30th. He's in the waiting room. Let's pull him in. I definitely want to talk to this man.
Duke!
Hey, guys!
How do you feel, right? Do you need a blanket? Do you need a hug?
I need a shower. I need a shower and a drink. Yes. Wow.
So,
that was a scene.
Well, let's get, like I said, let's get your thoughts on that that beautiful piece of randomizer.
My first question is gonna literally be, because I'm not 100% certain, did I have Berna before I went into T-Rock the first time?
I don't think so. Maybe? I can't remember if you did Hera after your first attempt or not.
Okay,
I want to say
okay, Berna was in Hera. Let's see.
Okay, I'm getting word from chat. You did not have Berna the first time you went in.
Oh, geez, that was a triple dip required for me. Wow.
How did you feel about that Turtle Rock, though? Seriously, that was some ridiculous item stacking in that dungeon.
Yeah, I didn't expect there to be 3 progression in there. That's one reason why I, well, I'll let you know, I derped because I thought I had the flippers for some weird reason. That's why I was like, oh, mirror, let's go to Swamp. Wait. Luckily, I caught it before I went into Swamp, but I figured the mirror was going to unlock a few things, but well, turns out it didn't.
We're currently watching Bacon finish up Ganon. You all were neck and neck, and then we come to the startling conclusion that Bacon did not finish out Rando Room and is with a Master Sword right now.
Oh. Actually, no. The Tempered Sword was in the Mini Helmasaur room on the right chest.
Oh, it was. Okay.
Yep. That's right. He was.
For some reason, I thought it was in. No, the male upgrade was in Rando.
Yeah, there was a male upgrade in Rando and a male upgrade in the chest before Minimold, or before Troll Worm 2.
Now, how about that? Both the male upgrades in Ganon's Tower, so you had to finish all of those dungeons with green mail.
Yeah, that's a thing. That and actually now I have another question. Where's the cape?
No one.
That's a good question.
No one found it.
Right side Ganon's Tower then.
More than likely.
Yeah. Oh hey, a bottle at the pedestal. Joy.
Yep, bottle was on pedestal, so your third and fourth bottles were Aga 1 and pedestal.
No, thank you. Yeah, so my thoughts on the seed, that was just a little crazy. I was like going through, it's like, okay, vanilla book. Alright. I was like, okay, so boots, and then just boots never showed until the Helma. It's like,
all right, Bacon is down to just needing to give Ganon a few good shots. Oh, missing the first arrow, though.
Now, chat informing us, thanks to Glenn and Gunspur, Cape was in the iced tea room in Ice Palace.
Cape was the last item in ice. Wow.
Unfortunately, we were all going for the ice raw go motive.
Yeah.
Yeah, find it in that big chest, and you're like, screw this, I'm out of here.
Pretty much.
I mean, if anyone had decided to sequence break ice, they could have just single segmented Turtle Rock.
I actually debated it for a second, but then I'm like, it's a pendant, and then it's gonna really skew things, and ultimately it would have, because Logic said you had to double tip T-Rock. Actually, and in my case, it was triple tip.
So now,
actually, wait a minute. Could it have been possible to get into Hera before T-Rock? Because you needed to have the hammer.
Bacon finishing off Ganon at long last. We are going to see an official SRL time. By the way, I didn't mention it earlier, but DukeFireBird was in 30th place. Bacon is going to be in 32nd with an official SRL time of 2:52:04. Congratulations, Bacon, on making it through something else. We'll see if we can't get him in here.
Dude, I honestly cannot remember where the hammer was at this point.
It was in the C-shaped house in Village of Outcasts.
So you're absolutely right.
Village of Outcasts. So yeah, so it was possible. Okay.
Now, I want to ask you something, and I think you might have covered this. When you mirrored out of Turtle Rock after finding the mirror, so what were you thinking at that point? Like, your logic was you thought there was no other progression item left in Turtle Rock at that point?
That's what I initially thought, because actually, yeah, because Burna was in Hera, so I didn't have Burna, and the majority of the remainder of the chests were on the laser bridge, so at that point that was out of logic for me. And then obviously I didn't have the ice rod, so I couldn't complete. But having, oh god, what was it? Actually, I initially, when I saw T-Rock, I figured T-Rock was going to be Quake. When I initially got Quake, I was like, okay, this is going to be one of the two. And then I reached it, and I'm like, I don't have anything, so if I go in, I can literally only get 1 or 2 chests. So I was like, alright, check hook shot, and then he gave me the fire rod, and I just kind of sighed, and I'm like, oh no.
To answer a question in chat, Acres, this seed was very bad. This was dragged out of some horrible, dank, disgusting, sadistic, masochistic corner of Willard J. Bradley's imagination. Yep. It was awful.
So Bacon will not be joining us in here for a voice interview, but to anyone in chat, Bacon is going to be hanging out in chat here if you have any questions for him. Bacon, if you're hearing me now, Great job. That was definitely something sinister that you just went through. And if you need a hug, just let us know.
Yes, man. Anybody that finishes this seed with their wits intact, my hats off to you. Speaking of which, Blackjac is back and running again. So I definitely want to keep these interviews going, but I definitely want to follow his climb up the tower because he is hanging in there like a champ. And I want everybody send your good vibes to Blackjac because I want him to have a strong finish. So yes, send all your good vibes to him.
Yeah, I was gonna say with that question that was in chat about how bad the seed was. It's a thing when the first place time is 1:46, and then the second place time is like 15 minutes after that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this seed was rotten. It's one of those times I'm glad I'm up here in the booth and not down there. Now remember, when Blackjac gets to the rando room, he'll find the big key, but he's also going to find a mail upgrade in there. So hopefully he doesn't dip out of that too quickly. I want to get back to you for just a second, Duke. It's a question we always like to ask around here, but what do you feel throughout that seed? Where were the points where you felt like you were really on point, that things were going your way? And when did you feel like things, like what plays did you make that you wish you hadn't done? I want to focus more on the former, not on the latter. At any point in this seed, did you feel pretty confident about what you were doing?
Well, T-Rock, when I grabbed the mirror, definitely there. Because that was blocking a little bit of progression. That, and then, trying to think there was one other spot where I really liked what I did. And I just don't remember where it was. But on the second half, basically, it was the dipping out of Turtle Rock after grabbing the mirror. But then realizing everything pretty much fell into place. Another derp that I had is when I got back to Kakariko, I forgot to grab the purple chest initially. And I was with my chat, and I was like, crud, forgot it. But fortunately, I didn't really have anything, so.
At what point then did you feel like it kind of dawned at you that you needed to go back to Turtle Rock? I mean, did it creep up on you slowly, or was it like all in a flash?
All in a flash, because I exhausted everything possible. Because I had no access to ice, I had no access to mire, I had no access to Skull was finished. I had no access. I had no completion of Pod. I had no completion of Eastern. I had no access to Desert. So that's 5 dungeons that I can't go into and finish. I already completed Hera, and Turtle Rock is the last play. And I completed 100% Overworld. So.
Well, and also bearing in mind, again, and we've talked about it a lot, having to do Turtle Rock with very little armor and very little health.
Yep.
Which, by the way, I've said it before early in the run. I do want to say it again. Right here, what I'm going to put down is a link. Wait, that's the commentary. What am I doing? What have I done with life and everything? That right there. There is the link for the runners tonight. Bacon, DukeFireBird, LewdDolphin, and Blackjac. They went through a lot tonight for our entertainment, and they were just that, very entertaining. Give these guys a follow. Show them some love. they may need it after tonight.
I can say for one, I am going to be giving every one of these runners a follow because they absolutely deserve it. Because this seed was absolute hell, just to watch, let alone to run, and doing it for our benefit. Yes, these guys absolutely deserve your attention on Twitch.
Yes, commentators, sure, Jaxus is awesome, absolutely. Big cheers for Jaxus. But the trackers are the true unsung heroes of this, having to keep up with the craziness going on. And our trackers for tonight, again, were Cyclone and Call Me Hefe. Good old Hefe. Now, Call Me Hefe's Twitch is actually a bit different. Did they fix that in the thingy?
I think it's Return of the Hefe, I think.
They did fix it in the command. So in that command I just linked earlier, his Twitch is correct. So
But yeah, as I said, give everyone involved in this stuff follow, guys. It's a lot to make these productions go together, and we have fun doing it. I mean, I've commentated a bit, I've restreamed a bit, I've tracked, and I've ran. All of it's fun, and it's a lot harder than you think.
Oh, yeah. At this point, I think I've done more commentary than I've actually ran the races, because I'm always I'm highly judgmental of how I do in speedruns in general. So it's like, I need to get better before I do this. It's just a daily race. Doesn't mean that I don't care. I need to be better.
I know that feel.
I think we've all been there. But I mean, now for those of you out in the community, not all the seeds are this brutal. They're not all this bad. Now some of them are, and that's as sadistic or masochistic as it can be. That is part of the fun too, because you never know what you're gonna get. But if you're watching this and you're seeing how rough this looks, look, don't let this scare you. I mean, it's still fun. Come in here, we encourage anybody, if this is something you even think you want to try to do, get in here and give it a go. I've said it before, I'll say it again, everybody in this community has always been so supportive. We like to help each other out. We run together. We have fun together. Get in on this. This is something, we want to be an active community. We want you all to be a part of this. So, please do not get discouraged. This is fun. Get in here, run some races, you'll have a good time, and you'll meet a lot of good people doing it.
And this seed really was the exception, not the rule. This is not normally how it goes.
I will attest to that. This is not normal.
And Dragon Strike 88, no. This is... Even I'm not sadistic enough to come up with this seed.
I am.
We need a priest and an exorcist here stat.
We need a young priest and an old priest.
I've come up with a terrible plan, though, that had a quadruple GT dip, so...
Oh god, let's not even speak about...
Only a quad! Only a quad! I'll bring up another runner here. TGH had a plando that he had for when he hit a sub goal. Oh, they were evil. I think they required, it was either... I think he ended up running it... I think he ended up dipping into it 7 times.
Oh god.
Yeah, he had to dip in, do one side to get an item. Okay, complete the dungeon. Dip in again, get another item. Go back out. Go back in. Get a 3rd item. Come back out. Go back in. The goal was only 4, but he ended up missing a couple things.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, I think what it was one side had the medallion requirement for Turtle Rock, one side had the flute for Meyer, and those were all pendant.
Oh, good lord. I'm sorry, not to break away from that, but Blackjac making a great find here. That heart that was in the Twin Helmasaur room, that was the Sank heart.
Very nice. Very, very nice.
That's where that was. Okay.
Now, at this point in time, Blackjac is still doing, like I said, very, very well here. They're still soldiering through this. not counting the forfeits we had, we did have quite a few loss of life here. Not to draw attention to them because there's no shame in that. Sometimes it's too rough, or sometimes you got real life stuff that needs to take priority. But as of this moment in time, we have 8 racers left doing this run. So Blackjac still definitely has a chance to finish this with flying colors.
Absolutely. Chat, continue to give your good vibes to him because, like I said, he's a champion in my book just for finishing. Anybody that finishes this seed, my hat's off to him. And even the, forfeit, I can't blame you. I've never forfeit a seed. I could easily see myself forfeiting this one.
Trollderm being cruel.
He just wants a hug.
I'm sure there's a guy further up the food chain that's probably also going to want a hug at some point.
Very true.
Mhm.
A hug or 4.
Moo Kalroar, the big thing that was difficult about this run is early on, a large portion of the progression items, the items that were very important to being able to complete this run and complete certain dungeons, were locked inside of a late game dungeon when all the participants at that point would have had, just a master sword, green mail, and a very low amount of hearts, comparatively speaking, to what they should have entering that dungeon. All in all, it was just a very hard dungeon to get through without dying repeatedly. That is where a lot of people lost some time.
Very nice double from Blackjac to finish off Agatu. Again, that's some solid execution right there. Chad, if you're sending out the good vibes, keep them up, because we definitely want to cheer him on as he comes down the last little stretch of this game. Now, with Tempered Sword, Blue Mail, he's not going to have too difficult of a time with Ganon. Again, so sorry to Bacon for having to do the Master Sword Ganon. You did it very well, but that's something nobody wants to do. So Blackjac going to come down here. Not sure what safety items he has. He may be considering taking stock at this point.
I believe he's about to make a quick trip to the Witch to grab some goodies. At this point, I would probably be doing the same thing. I'm sitting there looking at my timer. I'm at 3 hours. I already know I'm not getting the good time. I'm going to make sure I get Ganon in one try.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Releasing the safety wife and opting for blue goo instead.
Not a bad decision.
Nope. And yes, Bacon, to see you in chat, man, like I said, you did awesome on this seed, man. Like I said, my hat's off to you. And we've said it before, we'll say it again, give every one of these runners a follow. Can we get the link for that posted again in chat, please? Because, like I said, all 4 of these guys, they deserve it, absolutely.
Or, we could just spam chat with the exclamation mark.
Always do that!
Click the follow button, and then click the unfollow button, and then click the follow button so that you can follow them twice.
Isn't that what you're supposed to do with everyone?
Personally, I always follow everyone 7 times. That's how amazing everyone is.
If someone has their notifications on, like the events pop up, does it actually go off 7 times?
I'm not sure. Okay, Blackjac opting to go ahead and have the Cane of Burna ready. Definitely like this, especially since he does not have the cape. This will allow him, when Phase 2 kicks in, to get in there and really do some damage to Ganon. He's going to back out at this point. Go ahead and put it in there, and he's going to get in a lot of those slashes. just going all out, just not even shutting off the cane, just getting in there saying, all right, Ganon, I got something for you. Believe that's sufficient damage. Should move us on to phase 3 at this point. Again, dodging those fire bats. Ganon's going to be a little trolly with the teleports. Not too bad, though.
We'll see if Blackjac can get this finished. Oh, that was
close.
That was a bit terrifying, in my opinion.
Now, missing the torch glitch, but with silver arrows, not as big of a consequence. And he has the bacon blade, so he is going to be able to land some hits on Ganon.
You will be assimilated. Resistance is futile.
Sure. Resistance is futile, Ganon. You're going down.
I thought that was the seed speaking directly to us.
Yes. Not entirely sure what that was, but...
Blackjac with the finishing blow on Ganon. Everybody get a massive GG in chat for our boy Blackjac. Finishing off the big pig. Blackjac going to be finishing with an official SRL time of 3 hours, 10 minutes, 51 seconds for 35th place. Give a massive shout out and a massive GG to Blackjac. Let's see if we can get him in here.
I'm fairly certain what we just heard a second ago was the seed becoming sentient.
Oh, but man, what a cap off to that seed. Again, Blackjac coming in 35th place, 3 hours, 10 minutes, and 51 seconds. That's a, for this seed, that's still a very good time because this seed was mean.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for hanging out with us this long. I know not all the runs go 3 hours by any stretch of the imagination. We're going to pull Blackjac in here in just a little bit and get his input on what he thought of the seed before we close things down. So by all means, stick around, hear what he has to say. I believe he's definitely earned his ability to voice his concerns at this point.
Now, while we are waiting on Blackjac, I do want to give a couple of quick shout-outs. Now, this is not the end of racing. We do have more races coming up later in the week before we break for AGDQ. Tomorrow, we are going to have an open race at 2 p.m. That will be commentated by Dude and I, Baisley. And we are going to then have at 8 p.m. Eastern tomorrow a Keysanity race, commentated by none other than Mr. Willard J. Bradley and co-commentated by Swerve. So if you are in the area, folks, drop in because that's going to be a couple of really good races with some really good commentary.
Who's Willard J. Bradley? I forget.
Might hear you. Oh, but then do not forget also AGDQ. We are going to have Rando featured at it this year. It will be in the Saturday time slot at 7:40 p.m. So mark that on your calendars, folks, because we are going to be on the big stage. So very hyped about that. We have Blackjac in the waiting room. Going to pull him in for an interview now. Blackjac, very well played, sir.
I want to cry.
Sounds like we have someone else who needs a stiff drink at this point in time. So thoughts, concerns, complaints? Do you have any?
No. I don't know. It was a fun seed. I was getting frustrated for a while there because I was like sitting there trying to figure out where to go, and I went up to Turtle Rock once and found the mirror, and then I left, and then I was like, I gotta go back.
Oh, you did the same thing I did.
How did you feel when you finally came across the bow and the flippers?
I was mad. I was like, because that's what I was searching for the entire time. I was like, where is this bow? I know it's somewhere. It's got to be the progression item. Where is it? And then when I finally found it, I was like, yeah, that figures.
I see all of our runners tossing in some comments and their file names, but Blackjac, beyond that rough part with Turtle Rock, because that was definitely rough. You having to go in there, low heart count, green tunic. That's not an easy thing to do, even for veterans of the run. It's not something that you really want to have to deal with that much. Beyond that, what was your favorite part of the run?
Well, after I got the bone stuff, it was like, okay, now I want to do something easy. So I went straight over to Pod and did Armos, and then did Helmsword. And I was like, those are easy. I know I can get them with no problems. So I wanted to refocus myself into the game and kind of just like cool down a little bit.
Awesome. What about you, Jaxus? You have any other questions here?
I mean, we always ask about the Turtle Rock redip. It seems that's the big focus on here. Going back over it, I mean, how were you feeling when you suddenly realize I've got to do Turtle Rock, I've got green mail, I've got very few hearts, I'm a walking 2 to 3 shot in this dungeon? I mean, take us through that for us.
When I realized that I had to do Turtle Rock, I was like, okay, I can go in there. Hopefully what I'm looking for is early on. And then as I got in there and I started going through the torch room and then coming back out, I was like, uh-oh, I'm going to have to deal with chain jobs. I hate them things.
Said everything in that dungeon is mean, and then you pile on the fact you got green armor, so pretty much everything in that dungeon is going to do 3 to 4 hearts of damage, and then you also factor in you have a very small health pool you're working with.
The chain chomps with green, I believe should be doing 6, if I'm not mistaken.
Are
they? They
yeah.
hit me, and it almost took me out. I was like, oh crap.
Yeah, if I remember right, chain chops are the highest damaging enemy in the game next to Ganon. Or Cold Stare. I believe those are all the highest damaging enemies. And Trinex.
Yeah, I was pretty impressed that I was able to throw the chicken through the wall though.
Oh, that thing trolled you so bad.
I threw it through there and I was like, yeah, I got it through, and then it followed me and I was like, pick it up, throw it behind me, pick it up, throw it behind me. I was like, all right, you're going over here.
Could not get that chest open. The chicken's just like, play with me, Blackjac.
I was laughing so hard.
Oh no, like I said, we were all rooting for you on that last stretch, Black. It was like I said, this seed was brutal to everybody that went through it, and like I said, it was just merely finishing this seed is an accomplishment in itself. So again, I have to say that my hat is very much off to you, sir, and you've definitely earned a follow out of me for this. So thank you very much for. I want to say better you than me, and I mean to disrespect when I say that, but God, this scene was hard to watch. I can't imagine trying to run the darn thing.
And for one last time, right there is the link to all the runners. Please toss them a follow, toss them some love, toss them some good vibes. They definitely deserve it. Here is the team tonight. Of course, you had my co-commentator Jaxus, Zombie Punk / Zombie Twitch, and for tracking, we had a good old Hefe and Cyclone man in the helm there. They were some awesome peeps keeping up with this. But this has gone on for quite a bit now. I do believe it is time for us to bring this to a close. I want to thank all of you here, all the runners here in chat with us, as well as Bacon, hanging out there in chat, for joining us on here, keeping this entertaining, being awesome. But just thank you all so much. Once again, toss Cyclone a follow, Hefe follow Jaxus. He's awesome. He's funny. I love it when I get to commentate with this guy. Jaxus, I'll leave the final words up to you.
Screw this crap. Let's all go get drunk. Night, guys.
Good night, everybody.
Man.
See you at the bar.